citizens need to be about keeping these commandments.
This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
Officer Eli. Officer Nahshon. Officer Ezekiel.
Shalom, 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 Israel. Most High in Christ bless you all. Most High in Christ bless you. It's good to be back. I tell you, brothers and sisters, it is great to be back. I'm back here in Gastonia.
Praises.
All praise to the Lord.
We miss you, Bishop.
Yes, well, I miss y'all too, man. I really do.
Yes,
I've been busy,
Yeah.
but I'm back. And
Yes,
all praise to the Lord.
All praise.
Thank you all for welcoming me back.
Yes, sir.
Welcome home, Bishop. Welcome home.
Thank you. I also want to say to everyone, thank you for your prayers and your blessings.
Yes.
And your wishes, your best wishes, and I thank you all. I really do. All praise to the Lord. So here we are. We're in the Bible, the book of our fathers, and we're going to be going over a new topic. But let's get these things out the way right away. Let's hit this here because again, it's crazy that we have to say this, but let's just get it out the way so we can get right on with our topic. Let's go.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1, King James Version.
All praise to the Most High. So I'm Bishop Yahweh. Let's just get the panel in the mix.
All praise. I'm Captain Sariah.
Shalom, Israel. Officer Ehud.
Shalom. Officer Azaria.
Officer Eliakim. Shalom.
So all praise to the Lord. So I want to just sidebar for a second and give a great shout out to Captain Gedaliah of Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes, indeed.
I definitely want to do that. The brother's been on fire, always been on fire. Whether we're there or not. He said, what the scriptures say, not in my presence only, but also in my absence.
Right.
He's been doing marvelous work,
Yes, sir.
and it was a good thing. And I'm not discounting, of course, I'm not discounting anybody.
Oh, no.
But I had the distinct pleasure of working with him and observing his diligence and his community outreach. That's really an awesome spirit that brother have on him, and I pray that the Lord keep that spirit on him. Excellent work, Captain Gedaliah. I just wanted to give that shout out to you. And it was an honor to be among you. It was an honor to be in the city of Mississippi.
Yes.
What is it?
Jackson,
Mississippi, and the great works that we were able to do down there. So all praises to the Lord. So just wanted to give that shout out to you. So tonight we're getting ready to go into our topic. The name of our topic is called Parenting in the New Millennium 2.0. Let me say it again. Parenting in the New Millennium. And I say the New Millennium because I know we're like 20 years past it, the 2000s, 2000 hit. But these are these perilous times where there's so many thoughts of evil that's set out here to beset people from righteousness. So many evil thoughts and conversations and all kinds of innuendos that's designed to turn your children inside out. And it's a challenge for Israelite parents, mothers and fathers. It's a very daunting task, if you will, trying to keep your children straight. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because over the last couple of weeks, particularly, I've received a couple of calls. Those who are watching, they know who I'm talking about because we had this conversation. And actually, as we talked about the situation, I'm gonna explain what I mean. As we talked about it, I began to really take tenets from our conversation. I said, you know what, that's something I'm going to talk about on the show, and the concern was about Israelite parents that have children, and boys, girls, and when they get into the teen years, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, those years. Well, I guess I'd say about like 16 to 18, primarily in those areas. And we began to really face some challenges because the world's temptation is out to get them. You got Facebook, you got Instagram, TikTok, you got computer, you got friends in school, you have people at the workplace, you got all kinds of influences that's competing for your most valuable resource, your child, your son and your daughter, and they're trying to turn them out. So while you as believing parents, you're trying to make sure that you bring them up properly. You make it. You tend the Sabbath. You go over the commandments with them. You go over the laws with them. You teach them how to dress, how to pray,
right?
What to eat, what not to eat. Mm-hmm. You know how holy days. You teaching them all this, and you're trying to cultivate them into righteousness. Mm-hmm. And while you're doing this, they still have the liberty, if you will, of being tempted by their friends who are still in the world, by even family members. And this is what I want to speak about: family members, in-laws. You're trying to deal with your children and bring them up, and while you're doing that, you're putting that discipline to them because you have a real interest in making sure that they grow up properly. Mm-hmm. The worst thing that can happen is for a child that you raised to come out and be a disappointment. Right. And to see them on drugs, to see them dead, or to see them baby mamas and see them as thugs and getting locked up and sent to jail and stuff like that. And you put all this work, the troubles of education, like the scriptures say. Mm-hmm. You done put all this work into them, and that's a real investment. Right. And then here you have family members, particularly aunts and uncles, in-laws, that's basically gonna pour water on your smoking. You trying to bring these children up right. Because you'll have a situation like the child will say, and I call it the child, the teenager, will be like, you know what, mom is too strict. Daddy's too strict. I'm going to live with my aunt. I'm going to live with my in-laws. I'm going to live with grandma.
Right.
And grandma take them in. And when grandma takes them in, grandma letting them celebrate birthdays, let them have boyfriend, girlfriend, all that kind of stuff, giving them their phones, giving them all kind of stuff. And that's sending a message to the parents that's trying to bring them up. Understand what I'm saying? That in-law is bringing confusion in terms of you trying to bring the child up right. Because the message is, well, grandma let me do it. Grandpapa let me do it. My aunt let me do it. So y'all, the message is your parents are too strict. Right. Your parents is bugged out. They in the Israelite stuff, blah, blah. All those kinds of things will get inside your child's head and turn your children out. Right. My point behind this is that you need to understand that when friends, family members, in-laws, whatever they are, when they come and interfere with your upbringing of your children, you will have to cut them off because you mean business. Right. And you have to understand that. So that's why I say parenting in the new millennium, because we need to understand how serious it is. If we are serious about making sure that our children grow up properly, we got to be serious about who we allow to get inside their head. Right. Okay, and it's a real struggle. So I understand that. Okay. So let me see. Give me my first video. I got some things written here, but I'm just going to flow right into it. Give me my first video. Because if you don't pay attention to the influence that comes over, you'll end up with this kind of scenario here. Let's let this play. I think we played this a couple of weeks ago, but I want you to hear what this man says. Come on, let's roll with it. I get my thoughts together as I move on. We got sound? Let's make sure we get the sound. Bear with us, brothers and sisters. Let's back it up. Let's make sure that we get everything. All right, let me lean back. Let it go.
A strong, independent man that could lead. But
he said all women, because we didn't hear the first part of it. It said all women. Could we get it where we get all the words?
You guys know that every woman wants a strong, independent man that could lead. But you turn on any freaking primetime show on Netflix, on mainstream television, even in movies, who is shown as the bumbling idiot? And who's shown as the intelligent, wise one in every single one of these movies?
Pause it.
The woman.
Pause it. What's happening is that the man is being emasculated. Right. Now, he made a point about Netflix and different videos, but you got family members that will do the same thing. Oh, your father's too strict. Oh, your mother don't understand. They in that cult or whatever. And telling your child this. By telling them that, listen, you can come stay with me, you're basically taking them out of the discipline that they need. So that's the point. So we cannot allow that. That's what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. Now, as I go, we're going to get into the scriptures. I'm going to use a part of the scripture because I'm going to expand the understanding of it to speak about what we're talking about here. I'm going to mention the scripture so you'll know where I'm going. I'm going to go to, when I get there, I'm not there yet. I'm going to go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, okay? And I want to talk about how it is the duty for the marriage to be, for the man and the woman to be on the same, or the husband and the wife to be on the same accord. If the husband and the wife are not on the same accord, the children will become unclean. You might even have a situation where the husband is a believer and the wife is not a believer. But if the woman loves the husband, she might not understand what this truth is about. She might not understand the parables and the gospel, and quite frankly, she's not a believer. But because she loves her husband, she's going to follow the rules that her husband set. Mm-hmm. She's going to follow the commandments, even though she doesn't understand the purpose of them. She's going to follow them anyway. Right. Well, even in a case like that, the child will still grow up clean, because regardless of which parent the child goes to, if the child goes to mama doesn't understand the importance of Passover. She understands Christmas, but she doesn't understand the importance of Passover. But because she wants to keep the marriage together, she wants to keep the family together, she wants to follow the commandments, even though she doesn't really know about it. She says she'll tell the child, we're not celebrating Christmas. We're going to celebrate Passover, even though she doesn't know about it. Right. At that point, the child still has no other room to go to, because if you go to daddy gonna say Passover. Right. Go to mama gonna say Passover, even though she doesn't understand it. The same thing transcends into your in-laws. That's the connection that I'm making here. So that's the reason why I'm going to read this scripture, and I'm going to expand on what we're talking about in terms of believing spouses. It also transcends into the people who you allow into your home. Right. To influence your children, and that's the other side of the point that I'm bringing up about how you have to make sure that there's a hedge around your children, not only in your house but also with your in-laws, the people that you allow into your house, whether it be your parents, mother and father, which will be their grandparents, or your aunts, uncles, relatives, whoever they are. If they're going to come into your house, they need to respect your domain in keeping the commandments. They have to. Maybe mama don't understand. She wears pants all the time, but when you come into my house, you're gonna have your skirt on. You're gonna have your dress on. Okay, when daddy's used to cooking on Sabbath, pork and all that, when you come to my house, you ain't bringing none of that, because my child needs to see that everyone that comes in, they're going to abide by these laws, so that my son and the daughter do not get the wrong idea. They need to understand there's no confusion with the people that you are allowed to be with. Now, in the case where they said, well, we're not going to follow that, that's when the scriptures say, let them go. Right. Let them, meaning these in-laws. These in-laws say, man, you too serious with that Bible or whatever. The hell with you. You crazy as hell. Let me come see my baby. Hell no, you ain't coming to see nothing. Get out. Right. Here's time. You take your coat. Hit. Boom. Hit the door. Bam. Let the door hit him in the butt. That's how you got to be. Okay? Because if you're really looking at it in a serious form, that's how you got to go down with it. Okay? So I'm just giving you how this class is going to go. Okay? But we're going to go through the scriptures. All right? So now, go ahead, let's play this here. Let's start it again. Let's play it again. Come on.
Now, you guys know that every woman wants a strong, independent man that could lead. But you turn on any freaking primetime show on Netflix, on mainstream television, even in movies, who is shown as the bumbling idiot and who's shown as the intelligent, wise one in every single one of these movies? The woman. The woman is always the wise one, and the man is always some, I need beer, I need to go out and... When something is glaringly obvious, I have to call it out. There has to be some disconnect between what women want and what is portrayed to them on television and in the media. I live in a house with a wife and 2 girls. The level of discontent and disrespect that I get, that I have to check on a daily basis, is insane. My father never had to put up with that shit.
Pause it. He said that he had to. He said that he gets this thing because you have to be on guard all the time.
Right.
Because there's always some kind of. If that's what he's saying, my daughters are influenced by what's on television, this and that and the other. They're emasculating the man and all. Right. He's got to be on guard. He says every day he has to check this. Every day, because that's how relentless that pursuit is to destroy your children. So not only is it going to come through television, it's going to come through in-laws, friends, whatever. So if you're gonna create children, you really better be on your game.
Right.
Because like I said earlier, your child is your greatest resource. This child is going to represent me. Right. This child is going to represent everything that we are about, and we need this child to come up right. And I'm not having nobody step in it and F it up. That's the kind of mentality you have to have. Okay, so that's why I'm making that point, because it's a challenge. I'm telling you, I've been through challenges my damn self. All of us, we got challenges. These are challenges that we get.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm saying that not only as your brother, but I'm telling you from experience. Not only as your brother, but also from stories and counsels that I'm involved in when brothers are calling me, sisters calling me on. And I'm telling you, I've seen about 7 or 8 of them within the last 3 months. Different people from all across the country, people in the body that's going through these kinds of things. Yeah. So I was prompted. I said, well, you know what? I need to make a class out of this and have something to say about it. Because, who would think to take the scripture that I was just mentioned in Corinthians and to expand it into that? But the understanding is there, and I'm gonna give it to you. Okay, so let's get right back into what I'm saying. So play on. He said his father didn't have to put up with that. Go ahead.
I'm dealing with the females in my house. And I know it's because they're being influenced by a lot of these shows, even though they still come to me for help for things. But this is the way women are being programmed. Tell me how that makes sense. Subscribe.
Okay, that's it for that video. So he's making a point about women, but that happens with men as well. That happens with your sons. Because they have on their phone, they have some little girlfriend that be in the school or whatever, high school or whatever. That's always like, they hot and behind when they get 16, 17 and all that. Mm-hmm. So you got all that kind of stuff going on, and you trying to stay on top of it because you already know where it's going to go. You got plenty of statistics that's out here that's showing that.
Right.
You don't want your son to end up a thug because he didn't follow the discipline that you was bringing him, and you don't want your daughter to become a baby mama. Right. You don't want that. So it's a lot of hard work, and you got to be vigilant. You got to be vigilant to make sure that you got to be on guard, circumspect.
Right. That's a good word, Bishop. Yeah.
Vigilant. Right. You got to be on your toes and watch every damn thing. Your daddy is strict to say, yeah, you damn right. Right. Because I got to watch everything.
Right. Right.
So,
and Bishop, and we was mentioning somewhat of that last week, Jeremiah 14:2.
Yes, sir.
It says, I got also like in Judah mourneth. And then it says, and the gates thereof languish. Because, again, the leaders, that's at the gates. We have to be those gates of our home. We're not just talking about, here in IUIC. We're talking about literally having to watch what comes in and out of our house. You see what I'm saying? We got to stand guard and watch everything, especially when our kids go out and they come back in. So it's just that point there I just wanted to make, about a lot of men, or fathers not there,
exactly,
and the mothers allowing these kids just coming in and out, friends coming in and out. You got to watch everything,
man. Can you imagine how dangerous that is? You bring up a good because I was wanted to get into what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
You'll have some situation. I mean, this you might not necessarily have this going on in the body. I don't think we're gonna have like different men coming in and out of a woman's home. Is that what you're getting at?
Right. It's just a lot that we have to watch for as men or husbands, or fathers at our homes.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can I get a scripture?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's Rock 42. All of what we're bringing out is the scripture says the same thing. Us as fathers, us as leaders, you're going to lose sleep. You're gonna lose some hair some of us because why? Because we understand, like Bishop is bringing out, how not just vigilant we have to be, but how adamant this demon is called Esau. He's out to get our kids. I remember Bishop. You always touched on that. He said that talking about IUIC being a fractured
organization. Right, and that's the point. Exactly.
Right. Reason he said that because he thinks that he's not worried about the presence. He's looking at the kids. Mm-hmm. If he see the kids is still out of order and still in the world, he's not concerned about the organization. But one thing about this, we understand that God has His hands on this organization. Right. God has His hand on IUIC. Mm-hmm. Christ is leading this thing. All right, but it talks about how but the Bible talks about how vigilant we have to be as parents as well. Get that real quick.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 42, verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter.
It says the father waketh for the daughter. Now, it's talking about the daughter, right, but it goes for both kids, the son and the daughter. Read.
When no man knoweth.
But mainly for the daughter, yes, because we understand you little girls, we have to pay extra attention to you because you can be defiled. If you go around being a little hot toddy, wherever you call it,
hot toddy.
Hot in the ass. I'm trying to find another word, bitch. But if you trying to be hot in the ass, you gonna have to take care of that child, and now you bringing extra burdens to your parents. So us as fathers have to be vigilant and make sure that don't happen. So what? Read it again.
The father waketh for the daughter.
When what?
When no man knoweth.
What? That means even when she's sleeping, I'm gonna have to go in that room, make sure I check her phone. What you been on today? Let me check all these apps. Why you sleep? What websites you been on? Let me check your clothes. Make sure you ain't hiding nothing. Right. But we got to do these things. It ain't because we being mean, because we being watchful, we being fathers and making sure our daughters is what not in this little foolishness that's going on today. All right, read on.
And the care for her taketh away sleep.
And the care of her is going to take away what? It's time from you. You have to spend extra time making sure your daughter is brought up in the right way. Mm-hmm. Because the influence in school, in family, in friends is nonstop. It's 24/7. So you got to work extra hard for that thing. Read.
When she is young.
When she is young. Why? Because you don't want to think, oh, well, my baby, she good. She ain't nothing wrong with her. She innocent. She don't got ain't nothing going to happen to her. You don't want to wait till she get 18. Now she got 2 kids. No, you want to check that thing when you're younger. You see her trying to be a little all walk fast. Yeah, all flashy, loose with the hips. No, hey, check that thing. Hey, straighten up. You a daughter of Sarah. We ain't going to have that in this household. Read.
Lest she pass away the flower of her age.
All right, read.
And being married, lest she should be hated.
Why? Because if you don't check out at a young age, she's gonna grow up to be one of these women that we despise and we are ashamed of. We gotta be honest. We are ashamed of the image of the black woman today because it's not according to the scriptures. But the way you check that is as us being fathers and what. Monitoring that thing at a young age. Make sure we watching these girls at a young age and make sure they grow up in these scriptures under the order of the Father. That's all I got.
Right. Hey, look for that scripture. I drew a blank. There's a scripture that speaks about. It says, "Let us all gather one purse, the gang of boys." Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Proverbs, right?
Yeah. I know it's in Proverbs somewhere. Now I got another one in Proverbs that I'm gonna read, but I want to get that to go along with what I want to bring out because, like I said, you was talking about the daughters, but the sons are just as dangerous.
I was getting ready to say that, Bishop, because a lot of times it's not that we're not acknowledging the son.
No,
but we know too how vital. Daughters. I remember it was a show, and I'm coming to you also. Mm-hmm. It was a good time. Mm-hmm. And Florida was getting on James because he was hard on Thelma.
Right.
And he said, well, what about JJ? He's able to go out there.
Right.
And James said, well, let their father worry about him.
Right. Yeah. Hey, that makes sense because JJ ain't going to end up with the baby.
Right.
The baby, Thelma going to end up with the baby with no daddy, baby mama. And it's a horrible thing when a woman gets, and when a girl gets messed up and now she got 2-3 kids, her value goes down to the ground. Right. Now she got to sell herself. Right. Her esteem is all the way down to the bottom. Right. Now she got to basically beg to have a man to stay with her.
Right.
And the only thing they're going to do is just run through her.
Right.
Yep. Give her another baby.
Right. And another. That's how these things happen. That's exactly how these things happen. Okay. So the fathers and the mothers, if they got sense, hopefully they both supposed to realize we cannot mess around with this thing here.
Right.
Okay. And the daughter have to understand that. Okay. So did we find what I want?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 14.
Yes.
Cast in thy lot among us.
Let me get it. I might want more than that.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a second.
Get all that butter off.
Yeah, I might need to get
Yeah,
a few of them biscuits to be burned up.
You probably want 10 too.
Yeah, I got 10. I'm holding on to 10.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Start with the 7th verse.
Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7.
This is the thing with these 16-year-old, 17-year-old sons. Okay, read.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
The fear of the Lord is meaning the children are supposed to obey and honor their parents. Honor their. I'm gonna talk about that because the law of God is spiritual. I'm jumping the gun because the law of God is spiritual. When you get to the point where you're not respecting and honoring your parents, Most High is gonna bring judgment on your behind. We're gonna read about all that. Come on, read that again.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
But fools despise what?
Wisdom and
despise
instruction.
wisdom and instruction. They want to leave the house where wisdom and instruction is and go live somewhere else where they can be carefree, and they're going to end up destroyed. Okay, and if you as a parent don't put the brakes on that, you're going to allow them to get destroyed because you want to be nice to these relatives and all that. And I don't mean to be mean because my prayer is that all of the relatives understand and you respect my damn house.
Right.
Okay, you respect what we got going on here. If you don't respect it, then the hell with you.
Right.
You don't have no respect for what I'm doing, then I ain't got no respect for you.
That's right.
The hell you expect me to have respect, but yet you're going to allow my child to get hit by a damn car? No, that's basically the car of death, the car of judgment.
Right.
You say you care about this family, then you respect what this family lay down. If we're doing something wicked, that's another thing. But there's nothing wicked about us teaching our children the Bible.
Right.
Okay? Read.
My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother.
Honor thy father and thy mother, to make it simple. Go ahead.
For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head.
For if you do that and you bring your children up right, they're going to be an ornament of grace upon your head. Come on.
And chains about thy neck.
Go ahead.
My son, if sinners entice thee.
Here we go. Sinners could be family members. Can you dig it? Here we are. We're saying, listen, son, daughter, you're going to keep Passover. You're going to keep Feast of Unleavened Bread. You're going to keep Feast of Dedication. You're going to keep the Feast of the First Fruit. You're going to keep all of it. You're going to keep the Sabbath. You're going to keep these things. But then read that again.
My son, if sinners entice thee.
Here you get some outside influence to say, you know what, them laws are too strict. Come over here where you can stay with us and you ain't got to deal with none of that. I'm going to give you your own room. I've heard these kinds of stories. Right. I'm going to give you, going to have your own room, give you your own phone, give you all of this. You're basically saying you hate me.
Right. Giving you liberty to sin.
You're giving my child liberty to sin. Then when my child end up a damn statistic, you're going to have your mouth closed.
Right.
No. Read.
My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
Don't listen to it. So that means we got to listen to for every ungodly discourse, regardless of who we talking to. Anything that sounds outside of the scriptures, you got to stop it right there and report that thing. Mom is out of control. Daddy's out of control. Mom-in-law is out of control. You got to stop it. You got to recognize where wickedness begins. When righteousness ends and wickedness begin, you got to pump the brakes on that thing and say something. Okay? That's to all of us. And if you're brought up right, you're going to remember that. If you got the devil on you, then you're going to turn away from that, and then judgment going to come. We're going to read about that. That's coming up. Read on.
If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood.
A lot of these, I'm talking about the sons now. There's been cases where sons have grown up. They got the dealing on Instagram, dealing at these so-called Instagram models and all that, and trying to really trying to get inside their head to tempt them and say, listen, you ain't gonna be able to get Betty with the looking like this and looking like that, dealing with your mama, dealing with your daddy. But you go over to grandma's, you can have all of this. Right. And that will influence you to get into that thing. Read that statement again.
If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood.
Let us lay wait for blood. That's gangs. Right. Yeah. That's gang activity. That's gang. That's the. You know what? We getting ready to go get us some money. We're gonna get into our what up. What's that? What's that thing? What up? They're shooting up at the damn gas station. Yeah. Let's do these hits and all that.
Hitting the lick.
Right. All that. That's how these kids get involved in this thing, because they get around bad people that allow this, and nobody's checking on them. You got to check on them. You as a parent, we as parents, we got to be hard to make sure, because we are investing in making sure that these children grow up right. Because there's, like I said before, like we all agree, there's many influences trying to take your children out. Like you was bringing out that Edomite from the Apologetics said, he said that the Israelite movement is a fractured organization. Their objective is to get to our children. And they'll use your Christian in-laws, because they ain't about the Bible. They'll use your friends, people in school. They'll use anybody that they can to get inside your head. Even people that might be in the body that ain't fully repentant. Because everybody in here is still repenting. So you might have some people among us that might have that thought in their head. You got to be ready to check that also.
That's true.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
That's true. That's true.
So there you go. So where am I at?
Verse 11. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause.
Let us lurk privily for the innocent without a reason. He didn't even do nothing to us. Let's kill his behind and take his sneakers and take his money and rob him and this and that and the other. Your sons will end up running with a gang like this and end up dead. That's what's going to happen. They're going to end up getting judged by God. Why? Because the parents tried to tell them, don't go that way. This is a father talking to his son. He said, don't go into that thing. Ah, man, y'all too strict. I'm going where I can get some liberty. And then you end up doing this and end up in jail. Crying. We're going to show you about all of it. We're about to get into these videos. Give me my next read 12.
Let us swallow them up alive as the grave and whole as those that go down into the pit.
That's how that's the demonic spirit that gets on your children when they do not have that protective hedge as righteous parents. Whenever the child comes out of that proper parenting and allowed to go and have the liberty to do all kinds of evil, they're going to end up doing this here. They're going to end up doing it, and they're going to end up becoming the victims of the very same thing that they live in. The Bible says that the laws of God is spiritual, and it means that. When you break these laws, there's simple laws like honoring thy father and thy mother. You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that down the road. Now, we're getting ready to get all into it. Give me Proverbs 10.
Verse 14.
Yeah, where were we at?
That was the end of 12.
Right. Yeah, read on.
Verse 13. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil.
Yeah, we're going to make money. We're getting ready to do what we want to do. The hell with what mama and daddy say. Go ahead.
Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse.
And when they finish robbing the whole, because you have different, we're going to set up on that corner. We're going to set up on this corner. We're going to set up in this corner. And we're going to rob everybody that come through there. And when we're done, we all going to get together. And we're going to see who got what. And they're going to cast in their lot. Well, I got this from this dude. And I got that from that dude. And then they divide it up. That's how these niggas do.
Yeah.
And they used to be your sons. They used to be your daughters. Now they out here wilding.
And Slick Rick had a song, and he called it the children's story.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
It was about two guys getting together and robbing people.
Exactly.
And the one stopped and the other one continued on.
That's right.
Next thing you know, he chased by cops, all types of mess.
That's it. Right. Yes,
That's
sir.
the
That's a
bad.
heavy. Yes, I know that record well. I know that record well.
It just dawned on me, man.
Right. Exactly. You right on point. You're right on point.
Wow.
All right. Give me my other scripture. Proverbs 10. We're gonna read one. Let's read. Let's see where we're going to stop at.
Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son maketh a glad father.
This is what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to the point where we can look back and say, this is my son. This is my daughter. And we raised them up properly and instill righteousness in them. But that's going to take discipline.
Right.
It's going to take some real hard work. That means you got to, every place where you see evil coming upon them, you got to step in there and stop it.
Right.
Go ahead.
But a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother.
But a foolish son is the heaviness of his mama. You're gonna see some examples of exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The foolishness of a son and daughter will bring heaviness to their parents because they say all this work that they put into trying to keep you from this, keep you from that, and look what ended up happening. And it's gonna bring heaviness on them because it's always gonna reflect back to those that raised them. Okay, read.
Treasures of wickedness profit nothing.
Treasures of wickedness, meaning when there's no honest work to obtain the things,
right,
and you get it through cheating and lying and stealing, it profiteth nothing. There's a payback. Go ahead.
But righteousness delivereth from death.
But righteousness, when you obey your parents
Right.
in the Lord, it does what?
Delivereth from death.
It delivereth from death. Now, I'm going to stop right there. Delivereth from death. That's good. That's good right there. Let's see. Let me go from there. Let's do this here. Give me, let's see. I got my lesson here. When these children, let me just read this here because I got some things written here. I skipped some of it, but I think we're doing all right.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to make some points here because I do have some points here that I want to mention. When it comes to, because we mentioned about the daughters, they're pregnant. Let me just start it from where I said. Like I said, people have asked, how do I as a parent to keep them from becoming another statistic of a son who becomes an inmate or a street thug or a daughter who ends up being a baby bomber? These were questions that members in the body asked. You feel me? And then I say the same thing. I'm reading what I wrote because I want to make sure that I expounded these points out to you. The same thing goes with the sisters that cannot be told anything. Some of these sisters don't listen. They can't. Their parents can't tell them nothing. They end up following their own wickedness and end up destroyed. A baby mama end up like that. You basically end up. So this is what I say. You basically end up an Instagram model. They were talking about the women that no real man is going to seriously take as a wife. They will basically say she belongs to the streets. That's what these men will say. They're like, look, men running all through you and all that. I ain't dealing with you. She belongs to the streets. However, when she walks by, because she looked like this, she looked like that, men will pay attention to her. Hey, psst, 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 trying to get her attention and all that. She'll go for that foolishness, not realizing that that's garbage.
Right.
The objective is to get a good husband, to aspire to have a good marriage, children, and all of that. But you're not going to get that from somebody that don't even respect where you came from.
Right.
That's not even going to respect your upbringing. That's not even going to respect your parents or anything like that. He's busy hollering at you like you some piece of meat.
Right.
So I'm making this point about the women. Okay, so when she walks by, men look at her and perhaps entertain the thought about her for a while in his mind, but that will not lead to a real marriage. So as her years increase, she realizes that she has to begin settling. That's when now you just got regular bum type of dudes because she got to deal with somebody.
Right.
You understand? So, and these are the guys that ain't serious about nothing.
So basically, in the 20s, the men looked a certain way. Now she in the 30s.
Right, she in the 30s.
It's getting lower. Now in the 40s,
exactly.
It's just anything.
Now it's just anybody. Now it's just anything. This we trying to prevent all of this, okay? For men that are not real men at all. And guess what? The cycle continues because she's going to end up pregnant by whatever, and then the child going to come up with no upbringing, and this cycle's going to continue to repeat. Right. This is how serious parents have to be. So we have to really understand how to parent our children in these times because there's so many influences going out there. Everybody's with me?
Yes, sir.
That's my whole point right there, right? Yes, so I'm gonna move on. So I went on to mention that let's see. And as for the brothers, that's what I said about the brothers. The brothers end up in juvenile detention. They end up in probation, jail time, usually a 3 to 5 bid for running, illegal gun or something like that, drug running, or just like what we was reading in the scriptures, robbing, assault, gangs. Right. You end up getting a 3 to 5 bid, for usually the first time or whatever. Then prison is much longer. Now they go to prison because they done killed somebody in the process. Now they got 25 to life. And then some of them end up dead. This is where these sons going to end up at if the fathers and the mothers do not put their foot down and do not allow wicked influences to get between them and the upbringing of their child. The child going to end up like this here.
Right.
Okay. End up on death row and all the rest of it. So like I said, I want to bring these points out. Some end up dead in illegal activity. Some end up dead through the state. Death penalties and stuff like that. Right. Okay, and so I made a point. I've said that I've been in many interventions trying to keep the commandments among the children and trying to get them to obey their parents. And in some cases we were successful, and in other cases we were not. And this is the point. I said what they've all have in common is that they left their believing parents' homes and went to stay with relatives. And that's what I was talking about in the beginning of the lesson, how they are given an escape to go. You're given a water passage. I know we use that for the scriptures, but you're given a water passage. There's always an attempt to go and do something wicked. So you always got to cut that off. You got to be there. You got to be strict. You got to make sure that these things are not happening. You got to be on that. To go stay with relatives, and that's because they deem that upbringing to be too strict. Okay, what these children fail to realize is that the law of God is spiritual. This is what I was saying earlier. I'm reading this because I want to make sure I get these points out. What we need to understand is that there are repercussions that comes from breaking the laws of God. Honoring thy father and thy mother is a law where its consequences are carried out all throughout the child's life well into adulthood. Okay? And that's the reason why things just never go right, because you're dishonoring your parents, and God is bringing a judgment on you. That's the point. Okay? So judgments also carry well into their lives, like I said. So here's where I want to go. Give me the book of Deuteronomy. Now we're getting ready to get into it. Now we're getting ready to get into the lesson. So I wanted to say all of that to kind of set the tone, so everybody know where I'm going. So I had to do some reading because I wanted to make sure that I stayed on the course of what I was bringing out. So now we're getting ready to get into it. Give me the book of Deuteronomy 21 and 18.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son.
If a man have a stubborn or rebellious son, I'm going to take this to a son or daughter. Go ahead. But we're saying son here. Read that again.
If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father.
Which will not obey the voice of his father. He wants to get out and he want to go stay with in-laws. He want to go stay with relatives, friends, whatever. Want to move out. Tell myself I'm going to get my own apartment with some girlfriends and whatever. And once let me tell you something. The worst thing, I know, I'm grown. I've been there.
Bring it out, bitch.
The worst thing that girls can do is get an apartment where no man is there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm telling you from experience. Right. That's all we need to hear as nookers.
Right.
As nookers, yo, she got her own place. She ain't got no mama. She ain't got no daddy. She got nobody.
No hedge at all.
No hedge at all.
Right.
Niggas is all up in the business. All kind of niggas.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You're right, Bishop.
They there. So that's what niggas love. Huh?
Yeah.
They posting up, Bishop.
Right.
And never leaving.
Yeah, they posting
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
dilly
posting
burgers
up.
there. Oh, dilly
Oh,
burgers.
dilly
every
burgers
day.
and all that kind of stuff. Using her place. See, I'm going too far.
No, but it's real.
You using her place, but like, because some of us didn't like the girl. We be like, well, shit. Well, you got your own place.
Right.
Let me use this and let me bring some whole over. Let me use your spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still basally a free hotel.
Right.
We would, Joe.
Driving her car.
Yes,
Right.
stuff like that.
Spending her money. Yeah.
I've been there. I know what that's like.
Right.
So, like I said, this kind of situation,
Yeah.
the worst thing that a girl could do. Listen, the girl's supposed to go from her father to her husband.
Right.
Right.
Anything in between, the vultures are going to take her and destroy her.
What they say now, Bishop, let me get my own household away from my parents,
Yeah.
my hedge, my teachers, my protectors.
No.
Why? What do you plan on doing from now until the time that you get married to a husband?
Well, I want to be an independent woman.
Right, like you some fruit on a tree somewhere. Somebody come pluck and bite you and turn you into a damn apple with a worm in it.
Right. And that's why you got a lot of them too be so quick and ready. Not that it's a bad thing, but to run off to college.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, I'm telling you.
Bring it up,
Because they ain't
Wow.
Lord have mercy. Don't even get me started on that. All the damn wickedness I just see up there. Damn.
Hey, Bishop, can I get a scripture, Bishop?
Yeah, man.
Give me Sirach 26
Y'all
and
gonna
10.
take me off my lesson.
No,
Hit me with all this reality. Gonna make me leave the page and gonna start talking something else. But no, I'm gonna stay with it. I'm gonna stay with it. Come on now.
We got you.
Go ahead, bring it out.
Sirach 26 and 10.
Sirach chapter 26, verse 10. If thy daughter be shameless,
Shameless, read.
keep her in straight.
Like the bishop was saying, you have to make sure you see that, you know, your daughter, you see her, she being shameless, a little bit too proud, you know, in everybody's face, you know, you can tell these things. It says make sure you keep her straightly, be strict with her, making sure she understands you need to be on the straight and narrow. No, that ain't what you're gonna do, read. Why? Because this might happen, read.
Lest she abuse herself.
Lest she abuse herself, like how, like Bishop just brought out, trying to get her own place. Now you just open season. And you're going to end up abusing yourself. Why? Because of what?
Herself through overmuch liberty.
Through having too much liberty. Thinking you think you can be an independent woman. That you can be all on your own. You can do good all by yourself. No. The Bible never said, like Bridget said, you're supposed to come from your father to your husband. It's the reason why, because of that. Because it says through much liberty, you're going to become shameless, you're going to be abused. That's what we bringing out.
Right. Hey, give me that scripture. I think it's Numbers 25 or 30, where it speaks about how the power goes from the father to the husband.
Yes, sir.
You don't read no in between there. That's proof of what we're saying is proper. You found it? You know where it's at? I keep getting them mixed up. It's either Numbers 25 or Numbers 30.
That's 30.
And just go right to the transition. Go ahead. Read it quick.
Numbers chapter
I
30,
won't be long.
verse
Let's see.
Speaks
3.
about a weightier matter.
it's,
Start there.
verse
Start with
3.
3. Yes, read.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house,
Being in her father's house, come on.
in her youth,
In her youth, go ahead.
and her father hear her vow,
And her father hear her vow. Listen to the power that the father has. Go ahead.
and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her.
If he doesn't say anything because she made this vow, you made a vow, you had to pay for that vow. When that vow when it comes to for payday, you got to get it. Go ahead. Read.
And her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand. And every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
And so if he doesn't say anything, her bond shall stand. Her vow shall stand. Listen.
But
if
her father disallow her,
if her father, the father is the only one that has the power to disallow a vow. Listen good. That's the power that the father has over the daughter. Read.
if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall
Because
stand.
normally your bonds will bound you and you will have to owe it. But if your father, who has the authority to undo it, now you're released. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall forgive her because her father disallowed
her
her.
father disallowed it, not her boyfriend. Listen good. Her father disallowed it. Go ahead.
And if she had at all an husband,
Now she's married. So it went from the father.
Right.
It didn't say nothing about no boyfriend. So let's look at it. So after the father exercises the power to disallow her vows in his house, and the next verse says what? Read the next verse.
and if she at all had, and if she had at all an husband,
Now she has a husband. So from the father's house, she's supposed to go directly into the husband's house. That's why when we have the marriages here, when the marriage is done, she goes home with that husband.
Right.
So he continues the power that the father once had. So now with these girls today, they don't want that. They want that in between stuff. So if it's in between, who's got the power to disavow when they mess up?
Right.
Nobody. That's how that judgment happens. So there's no in between. You go from your father to your husband, period. Understand that, sisters. Okay? So now that's the part there. So go ahead, read the rest of it. Go ahead. You were going to bring out something?
Yes, sir. I don't want to take you off what you're about to say, though,
Yeah.
Bishop. But to that point, when that don't happen, Bishop, then what we have, the sister go to waste.
Exactly.
Like the points I was making earlier. Can I get a scripture, Bishop?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Let me have Sirach 7:23. I'm sorry.
the book of Sirach, chapter 7, verse 23.
Because I know it's saying, I know somebody's saying, well, that's old school. That's traditional. That's too hard.
No.
That was back in the old days. I used to hear that growing up. That was back in the old days. But no.
That's why I put millennium. Because it's for the day. Go ahead.
Hast thou children? Instruct them.
I'm sorry, 22:10. Sirach 22:10.
Yes, sir.
You're absolutely right, Bishop. Sirach 22:10.
Sirach, chapter 22, verse 10. But children, being haughty,
So when the child is haughty, when there's no hedge, then she get to do what she want.
Right.
When she get to wear the pants, when she get the twist in her walk, when she wearing the heels. Read it again, officer.
but children, being haughty,
Read.
through disdain and want of nurture.
Disdain means she despised. Why? Because she been used up. She was supposed to be given unto one man, but because she ain't had no hedge, the sister been used up and wasted.
Abused.
Right. She was abused. So through disdain and what?
and want of nurture,
And lack of nurture.
do stain.
Wait. And lack of nurture. That's what the father's supposed to do.
Right. Exactly.
Build them up in the nurture of the scriptures, like it said in Ephesians. Read on.
do stain the nobility of their kindred.
And when a sister or a brother get to their place, they stain the nobility of their nation, their people.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's go back to. I think I see somebody ask a question. Said, does this also go with the son as well? No, not in terms of the law, like what we just read for the woman. But the man is supposed to be taught on how to deal. Man is. Let me put it a different way. Ain't no man gonna be talking about dealing with a woman in wickedness.
Right.
He's going to be brought up properly that if he's going to talk to this woman, if he's going to engage in this woman, he's going to keep things respectable until he marries that sister.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's so you ain't got to worry about if the son is going to be righteous in his mind, he's going to deal properly. Mm-hmm. And the sister is going to look for that kind of brother. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I hope that answers your question.
Right. That was a what about the man comment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what the thing sound like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know, so I just wanted to say that because I didn't know exactly. I didn't really look deep into the spirit behind it, but I just wanted to just give that answer.
Yes, sir.
So where was that?
Deuteronomy.
Yes, sir. Let's read that because I got some stuff for you. So come on, let's get it in.
That was chapter 21.
Yes, sir. Chapter 21, verse 18.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them.
Listen, they're trying to deal with this. They're trying to deal with their son. Their son don't want to listen. I'm going to grandma's house. I'm going to uncle's house. I ain't want to deal with your strictness.
Right.
Like I said, I've been receiving calls like this here. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him.
Then shall his mother and his father lay hold on him. Go ahead.
And bring
because
him,
he don't want to listen. Let's read that again. Let me get that thought again. Let me get the scriptures.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Read it again.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother.
He don't want to listen to nothing.
Right.
They're trying to bring him up properly. They're trying to instruct him to make sure that he be the proper husband to take on a wife. They're trying to bring him up right. He don't want to listen to nothing. Listen, like I said, the laws of God are spiritual. So at this point, and in the case of the daughter, neither one of them are respecting their parents. Neither one of them are honoring their father and their mother. That's this case here. Listen how the judgment going to go. Watch this. Read.
And that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him.
They said, listen, he ain't listening to nothing that we got to say because they're serious. They said, listen, I'm not going to let you go stay with grandma. Right. I'm not going to let you go stay with auntie and this and the other. Right. Either you're going to do right or we're taking you to the elders. That was back then. Today, we don't really have that luxury. So the Most High said, okay, don't worry. I got judgment lined up for them. That's what we about to bring out. We about to bring out how this thing going to go down.
I got a sword.
Right. I got it right. Go ahead.
And bring him out unto the elders of his city. Mm-hmm. And
today it's the courtroom. Because even, hey, here's the deal. Today it's the courtroom, and guess what? The parents did not physically bring them.
Right.
Their lives were so jacked up, they end up in the damn penal system, end up in jail, end up with the damn health inspector.
Right. Juvenile.
end up with all these big Bubba type dudes, hustle man. Yeah. End up with those dudes.
Right.
Crying for mama.
Right.
Because they didn't want, that's the judgment. That's what we're reading here. Read that again.
Combing chest hair.
Then shall his
all that's coming. Come on.
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city.
Because the elders of the city is not going, listen to good. See, I'm getting into it now. The elders of the city is not going to act like those in-laws. It's not going to act, they're not going to give him liberty and basically say, yeah, come to the elders of the city. Mm-hmm. We're going to let you do what you were not able to do in your parents' house. Right. So the elders of the city is going to be like, listen, we're going to reinforce what they did because the objective is to cause you to come up right. Read.
And unto the gate of his place. Mm-hmm. And they shall say unto the elders of his city.
They shall say to the elders of the city, this is what, hey, when it goes to court, sometimes these kids get brought into these facilities. Right. I worked in them, I know.
Yeah.
I've literally had mothers that drop their damn kids off. Mm-hmm. It said, take them because it's too damn much for me.
Right.
And then when the insurance run out, the hospital get rid of they behind. Mm-hmm. And then nobody want them. Yo, it's a messed up system. Now the child is bouncing around from hospital to hospital, all over like a
Foster
Yo, it's
care.
crazy. It's crazy. Before they get the foster, they go from hospital to hospital because the parents said, I can't do nothing with him. He's robbing, he's doing this, he's doing that, and he's driving me crazy. I'm about to lose my job trying to deal with him. These are the kinds of complaints that we would get.
He became a monster.
He done became a monster in his own house, and they go and basically say crazy, this and that and the other, and then he get locked up in the ward. Go ahead.
This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton.
He is a glutton. He ain't doing nothing in the house, ain't contributing to nothing.
Right.
Just
Eating
sitting
up
there,
everything.
Eating every damn
just
thing.
taking up space,
Right.
making it hot in here.
Right. Eating, using up toilet paper and
All
running
that
water.
Nigga ain't bought nothing.
Won't
Right.
take out the trash.
Won't
Won't
do
mow the
anything.
yard.
Talking
Wash
about,
the dishes.
I'm going to my room.
Your room.
Go ahead.
He is a glutton and a drunkard, and all the men of his city shall stone him with stones.
All the men of his city, because they're in agreement with the parents. They said, you listen, you mother and the father, because it made the point that they did everything that they could do. That's the part I want to bring out. The parents did it all. Because that's, like I said, I'm receiving calls like this. The mother and the father are trying to bring the child up right, and the child is still rebellious. So then the in-laws gave them a way out. So what's going to end up happening? They're going to end up getting right in this kind of judgment here.
Right.
But the parents did all that they can do. But sometimes some of these kids just ain't no damn good. So the Most High said, okay, being that you want to disrespect your parents, I got the law of judgment coming for you. And it's going to be jail time, torn up in the system, dead. We're going to talk about that. Read. Go ahead.
And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die.
So the point of stoning him or her that he die, I'm saying it both ways. Because if the woman went off and did something wicked and come to find out, everybody was thinking that she was a virgin, and if she wasn't, they brought her back home and they stoned her. They said, this is not what we supposed to have gotten. How the hell did she get like this? So stoning went for both of them. I'm just throwing that in there.
Right.
Read that statement again.
And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die.
That he died. Listen to the next piece.
So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
So shall thou put evil away from. That's the point. The reason why that judgment went down, so that everybody is to know that you do not disrespect your parents. That's the reason why. Then when that judgment went out, everybody knew that when your parents say X, Y, and Z, you do X, Y, and Z. Because if you don't, then they're going to bring you out to the city, and then they're going to bring the charges about how you disrespected them and all that, and the judgment is you get stoned to death. So everybody in the city would see that, and they'd be like, you know what, I'm going to follow what my. That's how you keep order.
Right.
So if your parents is basically your in-laws or whatever is basically saying let them loose, that's an enemy to what you're trying to do. That's an enemy that wants to keep evil in Israel. That's the point. Okay, y'all all see that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All praises. So now, let's see.
And Bishop, I'm going to
Yes,
say
sir.
this.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times, I can't give you a percentage, but truth be told, a lot of times they don't make it back from that.
Right.
They
No, they
make
don't.
it
Yeah,
back
a
from
lot
that.
of them don't.
They don't make it back.
A lot of
from
them
that.
don't. Especially if they get hooked on to the wrong thing. Rather it be a messed up dude, rather it be a messed up woman, rather it be some drug or whatever. Sometimes they take that one hit of that crazy brother.
Right.
And that woman's head is messed up. Of that crazy sister and that brother's head is messed up. She gave him a piece of behind and his mind went crazy. Come on, brothers. Y'all know we had that.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We had that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. We had those kinds of situations.
Yes, sir.
And their lives is going to complete destruction.
Right.
Go ahead.
The concept of being alpha widowed.
Exactly.
And then she deal with that one man back
Boom.
then. No matter if she get a fantastic brother later on, she got that taste in her for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Captain, what you said, you're right. Some don't come back from that thing, and that's the danger in that thing. That's some serious business.
Right. That's why we go so hard as parents, because we know
Right.
you may not make it back.
You might not make it back. I remember the brother told me the same situation. we went up. This was an intervention. We
Yes,
drove
sir.
up some. We drove.
Right.
We went up there.
Yeah.
To speak to the brothers. I ain't gonna
boy.
mention no names.
No, you good.
We was.
Bishop.
No, I ain't gonna. I told him
Yeah,
I wasn't
just
gonna say that. I
emphasize.
said I'm just gonna use the example.
Right.
I'm talking to the brother, trying to get. I said, listen, bro, if you go in there, I know that girl looked like this, and she got this and going on. I said, you get in there. He said, well, I just want to try it, and then this is his answer to me. Now he's staying with relatives. He went to stay with relatives and all of that. He said, I just want to try it, and when I try it and find out what it's about, I'm gonna come back. I said, how in the hell can you say what you're gonna do when your damn head is getting ready to get shifted?
Right.
Once you get into that thing, your zero reference become -3.
He was already gone, bitch.
He was gone.
Yeah,
he was gone. I said, okay, you gotta have to feel that fire. So that's what I'm talking about. You get in there, just like the person, like we had that guy on the that worked for he was a radio deal with radio something that was on the Gil Noble show. The guy Bob Williams. There was a guy, I played his video before. He said that he was also one of those because he was talking about crack. The guy that got hooked on crack.
He said, no, don't conclude that.
Right. He said because Gil Noble asked him, he said, well, you seen what crack do to people. Right. You seen what it does. He said, you seen it. He said, why would you go in there and try that thing when you seen what it did to people? It turned people into this and that. Right. He said, you seen what it did. He answered, he said, I used to think just like that. He said, I know exactly where you're coming from. Because I was one of those. He said, and I said, I know where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. But it said, but that's because you haven't hit it. When you hit it, you become a believer. Dang. And that meant your whole mind is changed. Right. Now all of a sudden, what used to be right is wrong. Mm-hmm. You cannot consciously go to something that you believe is wrong. Once you believe that wrong is now right. Yeah. Once you believe that wrong is now right, then right becomes wrong. Yeah. You cannot shift them to accept something that they now believe is wrong. Yeah. And that's what the brother was telling me. He said, I'm just going to try it out and such as that. I said, you ain't going to have the mind to get your mind back right. I said, once you go over there and your mind change, you begin to adapt to that, then everything else is off. Yeah. I said, so you can't play with that. That's what I told him.
It'll take an act of God. Yep. Because you going to reprobate. I'm telling you.
Yep. Yep. So there you go. That's the point. Where we at? Where we at?
That was Deuteronomy 21.
Okay. Now, read that last verse again about the putting to death.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 21. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
So wait a minute now. It was something I skipped. I think I skipped a few things. Go back to verse 20.
Verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of his city.
They're trying to deal with their son. They're trying to get their son to deal right. Or the daughter. Go ahead.
This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard.
He's a glutton and a drunkard. He ain't listening to nobody. Now give him my video. Because he don't want to listen to his parents. So the parents basically say, you know what, I gotta turn you loose. I gotta bring you to the elders of the city. This is an example.
Man, oh man. The real deal here.
Now I gotta bring you to the elders of the city. Right. I was moving too fast. I skipped these things. I gotta get them in there now. Yeah. Come on. You can let that whole thing play because it's short. Can we blow it up where it can be bigger on the screen? Do we have that ability in here? No? Damn. Go ahead.
Right click and check.
So you playing me for crazy now. You playing me for stupid now. So you did it, but you don't know what you did. Yes, you do. I'm going to let you know again. Don't lie to me, son. You do know what you did. And you playing games with me. That lets me know that you tell a lot of stories at home.
Now pause it. He said you tell a lot of stories at home and you lie to your parents. They getting this is a woman now.
Right.
But they got men that do this. But because she was in his ass. That's why I said I got to play this. But the point is she digging into that behind. She tearing him up. And he can't even look at her in the face.
Count is already gone.
He's tearing him up. But that's the point. Let's play that again. Because this is an example of a mother saying, I can't deal with him. Right. I got to take him to the elders of the city.
He got that old gaze in his eye.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. You ain't seen nothing yet. Go ahead.
So you playing me for crazy now. You playing me for stupid now. So you did it, but you don't know what you did. Yes, you do. I'ma let you know again, don't lie to me, son. You do know what you did, and you playing games with me. That lets me know that you tell a lot of stories at home, don't you? You lie to your parents, don't you? You disrespect them because you lied to them early. You got all the right tickets to get where you need to go, but you don't utilize them. Like you got parents, new shoes on, nice haircut, probably a good...
Hold on, stop. You got nice shoes on. Who the hell did that? Mama and daddy
Right.
took care of his black ass.
Right.
Now he disrespecting them. Now he's out here dealing, and they looking at him. Listen, this dude gonna end up dead. Back it up just a little bit if you can.
She said, "You got all the tools.
You got
to be
all the
successful."
tools to be successful.
Convicting that man.
Back, can you give me a little bit? Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Like you got parents, new shoes on, nice haircut, probably a good school, and you're not utilizing it to your ability. Go on over, get the ink on your fingers, go do what I need you to do with your hands, because you've been doing what you want to do.
Pause it. Hold it. The ink on your hands. Do people know what that means? That means your black ass is in the system.
In the system.
You in the system. You are in the. Just remember that you in the. They fingerprint you. They roll. You get your. You in the system now. APHIS. You in there now. Boom. Go ahead. Play on.
Meet inmate Tavares.
Christine, what's happening? I'm Tavares. When I meet these kids, I want the one who thinks he knows it all. I want the slick one, because that's the one I was.
How you doing? I see you good. See, you got on my color too, huh?
Damn.
I'm gonna show you how to put lipstick
Look at
on.
the guy
I'm gonna
looking.
show you what's gonna take to be in here. Can I show you the lipstick? Huh? You don't like that, huh? You see how I have it on me? Could you see it? Did you see how it looks? That's what I had to do. That's what you want to do? You sure?
You gonna be my B. That's what he's saying. Yeah. I want you to be sweet.
So you got my color on.
You got my color on and all that. So just letting you know where it's at. Give me my next video. This is gonna keep it rolling.
Telling you.
Keep it rolling. He don't want to listen to his mama or his daddy. You sisters, both of y'all gonna end up in mess like this here. You keep that disrespect going.
Right.
Hit me.
I'm Coco. I'm 15. I got 8
Look at
felonies.
carjacking and gangs. He's 15 years old.
He said he got how much?
Yeah. You heard it.
We say 8 felons.
He got felonies. So his fingerprint go way back.
Can't even drive.
He can't even drive yet. He got
Might
felonies.
never be allowed to.
No, all that. You'd be surprised how much you can't do once you get a record. Hit it again. Let that thing ride.
Coco. I'm 15. I got 8 felonies. And
8 felonies.
I'm facing a lot of trouble. I've been to juvenile 12 times.
He been to juvie. He been to juvenile 12 damn times. Go ahead.
I was with aggravated assault for shooting at a police officer. I gotta go to court. This say Young Brew. Young Brew is a gang that I'm in. It's affiliated with Bloods. I carry a gun because nobody kill me because I got a weapon. Like, vow.
You think that's cute?
A criminal.
Here come the
armed
mama.
robbery, carjacking. He's
That's
a
mama.
menace to society.
He's a menace to
This
society.
program is
Go ahead.
He's a rebellious.
He's
child.
rebellious. See,
He's
just what we
glutton
were
and
just
drunken.
reading. Just what we were just reading. Go ahead.
up for him.
Back it up again. I want to hear her whole statement. Back it up just a little bit. Let me hear her. Go ahead. Play it from there.
Armed robbery, carjacking. He's a menace to society. This program is my last resort for him.
Boss was blind. I'm gonna run away for your ass. I'm not gonna never come back. Want some real blood? I'm tired of you. Oh, blood on my life. It's on my soul.
You want to be hardcore? We go right around the corner, and I'll take all the off my waist, and we'll step in that room where nobody's at, and I want you to be hardcore. Those kids on the street corner don't give a about you.
Pause it for a second. I want to say something. See, this is the judgment of the Lord.
Yeah.
When your children refuse, I put it this way: when there's a stoppage of disciplining your children at home, you dig it? They're gonna get disciplined somewhere. When they leave your house undisciplined, they're gonna face a world that don't give a living shit about them. Excuse my French. They don't give a living damn about them. Right. And they're gonna face the cop with the Glock.
The powers that be.
They're gonna face the nightstick. They're gonna face the stun gun, the chokehold.
That's gonna turn his body cam
They're gonna
off.
face the canine, the police dogs. Right. They're gonna face jail time. They're gonna face Big Bubba. They're gonna face all that. Then they're gonna face the damn lethal injection and gas.
Right.
Or get shanked in the damn prison.
Right.
That's what they're gonna face. So they're gonna get chastised one way or the other. That's in the Bible.
Right.
Listen, Give me Romans 13. Get a scripture.
I'm
in there.
already at it.
I'm
Give me
already
that,
at
man.
it.
Give me that. Because they're going to get it. They're going to get it.
Yes, sir.
Romans.
We coming back to this video. We ain't done yet. This is what we reading. Come
Bring
on.
it out.
Romans chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Give me the second verse.
Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
You know what's heavy about that?
Wow.
Therefore, who resisteth the power, your parents have the power first.
Right.
So I'm getting ready to get deep. Your parents have the power first. That's the powers that you're supposed to be obeying. Because like the scriptures, when you read further on, it says that the powers that be are not a terror to good works.
Right.
So if we're in to keep the commandments, the powers are not going to be a problem to us. So we're going to give you those same values. These laws that our kids are breaking pretty much are what's known as judicial laws. Thou shalt not steal, rob, rape, those kinds of things. We're trying to teach our children not to do the same thing. Got to take care of the women. Can't be leaving a child with no daddy. There's laws on that.
Right.
They make you pay child support, all those kinds of things because those are biblical laws.
Right.
But when you want to be want to be rebellious and not follow the basics that what your parents are giving you, you're going to pay for it because you're going to get emboldened in your wickedness, and then you got to meet these people. Right. That's what I'm talking about. Read.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Go ahead.
For rulers
You shall receive judgment. Stone him that he die. Right. And the Most High going to bring that death, whether it's in the Old Testament or he's going to bring it now with judgment. Right. Go ahead.
For rulers are not a terror to good works.
Come on.
But to the evil.
When you do evil, when you disobey your parents, to make it simple. Watch this. Keep reading.
Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power?
I wanted to get to that part right there. Will thou then not be afraid? I'm getting ready to expand this. Will thou then not be afraid of the power? Meaning, because you didn't listen to the power when you had your own kingdom. Right. That's what this is saying. We did not respect our laws. We didn't like Deuteronomy 28. If we would have kept the commandments the way they were given to us, we would not have been in this mess. But we didn't listen to that. So because of that, we didn't fear the Lord, who was our power then. He says, so now I'm going to put this white man over you. You're going to obey him because he beareth not the gun in vain. He beareth not the canine in vain. He beareth not the stun gun and the chokehold in vain. He beareth not jail time in vain. That's what it's talking about. Read that statement again.
For rulers are not a terror to good works.
Go ahead.
But to the evil.
Read.
Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power?
Will thou then not be afraid of the power? Here it is again. The power coming up to now. You were not afraid of when your parents said, obey your mother and your father. Right. That law, like I said, is spiritual. Right. You did not obey that law. Right. Your mama said keep the commandments. Your daddy said keep the commandments. You want to be rebellious and run and go stay with this and stay with that one and escape. They're too strict. They're too that. That's the power that it's also talking about. Read that statement again.
Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power?
Meaning you weren't afraid of the power that your parents had over you. Mm-hmm. Now you got to face this. Read that. Read the whole thing again. Read that statement again. Now will thou then what?
Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power?
Because what's going to make you be afraid of the power now? Because now you ain't got no choice. But either you're going to dance to the tune of this system or you're going to die. Meaning God's judgment. God rules through them. Read the first verse so they'll understand it. This ain't necessarily about the white man. This is about God. Right. Now we can read the first verse.
That's verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
The Most High said, let every soul be subject to those who are set up in rulership. Go ahead.
For there is no power.
For there is no white man's power. There's no East Indian power, Chinese. Right. There's no power at all except God's power. And he ruleth through the kingdoms of men. So when your children go off, he's going to cause those same kings that he set up to kill you. Read.
For there is no power but of God.
For there is no power but of God. Read.
The powers that be.
The powers that be. It ain't so much the white man. It's God's power because your black ass didn't listen when you was underneath your parents. So now I'm gonna cause these powers to come down and kill you. Read.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. So when you just do a simple thing like disobey your parents, God remembers that because the law is spiritual. He'll make sure that judgment come all the way back and get you through the powers that be. We're going to read it. It's going to be crystal clear. Read.
Whosoever therefore resisteth the power.
Whoever therefore resisteth the power. You resisted your parents' power. Now you're resisting the powers of the system. Listen what's going to happen. Read.
Resisteth the ordinance of God.
And you resist the ordinance of God because you didn't listen to your parents. Now you're getting ready to get it. Go ahead.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
That's what happened when that boy was stoned to death in the Old Testament. So you see the same judgment is still happening. You talking about something, we ain't got to worry about that because that law is gone. No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Definitely
We can go back to these videos. You're going to find that it ain't gone at all.
Definitely not.
Shoot. Read. That was it, right? That was
verse 2.
Okay. Read on.
Verse 3. For rulers are not a terror to good works.
Go ahead.
But to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same.
And thou shalt have praise of the same, because when we do right by the Most High, nobody's going to have an evil thing to say against us. Read on.
For he is the minister of God.
For the powers that be is the minister of God. That means God put them in charge to do his bidding when you didn't listen to his bidding when it was coming from your parents. Y'all see this?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
For he is the minister of God to thee for good.
For your good, to make you do right what you should have did right when your father and mother tried to instruct you properly earlier. But you didn't want to listen to them. You want to fly out and go with others. Then you got your freedom. Now you end up in a mess where you dealing with people like this here. Read.
But if thou do that which is evil.
If you do that which is evil like you did evil when you left your parents' house, now you're doing it in the society. Let's see if you're going to get the liberty to go somewhere else like you ran from your parents. Let's see what's going to happen. Go ahead.
Be afraid.
Be afraid.
For he beareth not the sword in vain.
For he beareth not the Glock in vain. For he beareth not the nightstick in vain. For he beareth not the stun gun, the taser, the canine, the pepper spray, the SWAT.
Damn.
He don't bear none of that in vain. He's coming to kill you. Who's sending him?
The chokehold.
God. Who's sending him? God. Why? Because you first disobeyed your parents. That law came all the way up. Like I said, that judgment follows you all the way through your life, and your life is effed up after that.
Right.
You're in the system, can't get nothing. Everything is screwed up.
Right.
Because you didn't listen. Something simple like that could destroy your whole life.
Right.
Bishop, I know I just hearing this, it kind of it's a wake up call. I literally witnessed a young man that was in juvenile in juvenile detention, right? And I remember the young man. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm getting out in a couple of weeks." And bruh, yeah, go out there, man, get you a job. Don't get in no trouble, man. Stay out there. And do you know he got out in 2 weeks? Do you know it wasn't but 2 weeks
He'd be
later?
right back in there.
No, Bishop. 2 weeks later,
Dead?
him and his cousin was shot down.
Yeah, you see that? Damn.
They were shot down.
Wow.
I've seen it on that angle. I've seen where another young man was, parents tried the best to redirect him, and he went out and done his own thing. Next thing you know, his ass was in a damn wheelchair.
Yeah, exactly.
Right back at his parents.
Right.
Right. And
now
they
he
have
can't
to
do
take
that.
it. Now
Now his parents got to take care of him. Wipe his behind and all that. He's got to roll around in a wheelchair now.
Exactly.
21 years old.
Yep.
Ages like that. I've seen plenty of them.
Yep.
Plenty of them.
I'm telling you, this thing is real.
Yeah, it's real. That's what I'm bringing up, brothers. I'm bringing it up real. Damn. Where we at?
For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
To execute wrath on them that disobey and dishonor their mother and their father. That's what's happening there. As a grown man, that same judgment is coming to get you.
Right.
That's the point. That's the point there. And I ain't done yet. We got more. Play on in that video.
Hey, before you play it, put it on the screen. Just look at the man's eyes. You tell me they ain't playing with you.
They ain't playing with you.
Look at his eyes. He ain't playing with. He ready to unleash.
He ain't looking at him like a father. He's I'm about to tear your ass up.
He said if we wasn't on
I can't
TV.
even, listen to me. I can't even I used to work with people like this.
Yes, bitch.
Damn, they be waiting for it, Bishop.
Stories in the locker room. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Bishop.
Leave it alone.
They start smiling at you. Yeah. I'm about to get some workout today.
Hey, look at his face.
Yeah.
Now put it on screen. Watch this. The young man had been charged. Put it on the screen.
Show it up, yeah.
The young man had been charged previously with the felony of shooting at police.
Yeah, exactly.
He is a police officer. He's
There
not
you go.
playing.
No, he ain't playing.
He's not playing.
They know that.
Because some of them, they thinking like you probably shot and killed a
You shot and killed at
then-
my brother.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's how they think.
Yeah.
And is it against the law? Yes. So that's how they're looking at it. We got the right to beat your ass.
Yeah,
That's how they
exactly.
say.
Right. They want you. Yeah.
Turn the cameras the other way. All types of stuff.
Right. Body cams cut off.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Go ahead and
Go ahead and play
fellas.
around.
That's why the scripture says, "Be afraid."
Be afraid, because he beareth not the sword in vain. You can avoid this by keeping the commandments of God. That's the point.
Right.
Go ahead. Play on. Forget the commercials. We got to get all this in there.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
But say that commercial for the end, the one that I like. All right? Come on.
They'll find another one tomorrow. Because they don't care enough about you. But yeah, that's who you roll with. And
So
that's
he.
what you
So
die
wait a
for.
minute now. So let me back it up a little, because you say he's looking at him. He's looking at him because in reality, some of us, we really do try to turn these kids around when they come into these situations like this here, you know? And it's crazy. It's crazy. You was talking about one of the cats that you deal with. I talked about one cat that came in. He had attacked his grandmother with a hammer.
Oh, man. Damn.
That's a dude I had to deal with.
Yeah. He's telling him, he said, stop this, because when you do that ish again, I'm going to kill you.
Yes.
I'm going to be the one to get called on you, and I'm going to kill you.
Right. Damn. So some of these guys are evil as hell. Backing up just a little bit. Did you get my statement right? I wanted to play it right there. Let it ride.
I want you to be hardcore. Those kids on the street corner don't give about you. You're replaceable. They'll find another one tomorrow. Because they don't care enough about you. But yeah, that's who you roll with, and that's what you die for. You take your soul. You know that, right? Yeah, I know we can. Why would you want to?
Oh, the part that I missed, he said that you're just a number. You'll go out and commit this crime and you'll be dead, and ain't nobody gonna miss your black ass. That's what he's saying. Excuse my French if I'm saying it. Because that's how they really that's what I said, back it up, and I let it slide again, and I didn't comment on it. That's what he's saying. He said, you out here committing crimes thinking that people gonna back you up, like let me pour some wine out on my homies and all that. Man, they don't give a damn about your behind. They'll find another one tomorrow. There's another stupid son, stupid daughter that's willing to come and fulfill your evilness. And you going right the damn potter's field.
Bishop, while he in there right now, they probably replaced him already. They already replaced him already.
They ain't coming to, a lot of these guys get locked up. Nobody come to visit their ass. The only one that's calling him is mama.
Right.
All of the niggas you used to run with, none of them coming to visit you. None of that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That man will rip your face off and wipe his ass with it.
Why would he do that? Why would he do that? What I do to
Why wouldn't he do that?
All right, check this out. Luke, you want a honey bun?
Yes.
They put $5 on your butt. $5. Did you beat his ass for $5?
Hell yeah. Let me tell you what.
That's why he would do it. They don't care.
Did I give a timestamp on that? I think I put a timestamp on that, right? Right? I gave a time. I stopped it there, right? All right, give me my next video. Let me see where. Yeah, give me my next video. So now hold it before we play it. So now as you see, that's when you in there. They don't give a damn. They'll put $5, Joe. We give you, you know what, a honey bun in there?
Yeah, old 25-cent little Debbie honey
A
bun.
honey bun in prison?
Please.
Man, damn, that's like a smoking bun. That's
Sweet bread. Yeah, some old sugar bread.
Kill your behind over that damn thing.
Yeah, man, they go crazy over there.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Hey, that's why the scripture says,
What I gotta
be
do?
afraid.
I gotta slice this nigga up. That's all I gotta do.
Right.
You in there crying for mama.
While he over there eating the honey bun.
He in there eating a honey bun. A packet of oodles of noodles. I knew. Hey, listen to me. Oodles of noodles was the big thing. One of the brothers I used to work with used to tell me, he said the ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm like
man,
gold.
kill
It's
you
like
over that
gold
damn
in there.
thing, man.
Yeah, man.
Like gold in there.
Yeah, man.
A makeshift heat with the water and all that, sticking things in the electric sockets. How
Yeah.
the dude do that in the damn psych unit?
Yeah.
Found a way to heat up water. I said, this nigga from jail.
Yeah.
Found a way to heat up water.
Yeah.
With a damn electric socket and some wires.
Damn.
Heating up water.
Boy, I tell you.
Damn. Go ahead, man. Playing games.
Life inside juvenile prison.
Here we go. Here go Mr. Hundreds of felonies, and can't mama tell him nothing. Daddy can't tell him.
Right.
Now he's listen to this here. Go ahead. Teenagers' first hours in juvenile detention.
Thank you.
Dang.
Just speak into it. I'll just piece it this way.
Hello.
Pause it, because I'm gonna let it play. Y'all notice, hey, I gotta let this thing roll. I ain't even asked for no extended time, but I gotta bring all this out. I do. I have to ask for the time. So who's ever teacher next, I need to get these points out. All right. So just bear with me, brothers. You see, he comes in there, and he came from his mama's house at some point.
Right.
But he done got used to the streets.
Right.
But now his first time, that's what it says at the screen. Teenagers, first hours in juvie, what we call juvenile detention. He goes in there and you start listen to the sound of them handcuffs and all that, them chains and all that.
Right.
That's psychological. They want you to get used to that shit because this is your future, like Uncle Rucker said.
Yeah.
What did he say? Oh, you children, come on down. What did he say? He said because they went to do there was a prison thing. And he said, because it was white kids, this Boondocks, white kids. Yeah. He said, oh, you white children, this is basically going to be like a visit to the zoo. And for you Negroes, well, this is just going to be a future. This is going to be a visit to the future. So come on in.
Wow.
Okay. So they want you to get them damn sounds. They stay in your head. They stay in your head. Working around that stuff for all them years. All them sounds are familiar. You live that.
Right.
Go ahead. Plate. When they walk up, when they start clicking them, locking them to the desk. Look at this.
Thank you.
Just watch.
Just speak into it.
Speak into it.
Okay. Face it this way.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello? Hi, Ma.
Hey, son, how are you?
Who's speaking to?
Hey,
Where's homies at?
Right.
Where the niggas that used to run? Where they at?
Right.
Where's the art that allowed you? No, that's only mama is trying to deal with you. Just listen to this. It's pathetic.
Can't even touch the phone. Just speak into it.
Just speak into it.
Bishop, what you was saying about the sounds is heavy.
Yeah.
You hear how empty it sounded.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the point. I wanted you to hear all that to feel that.
Right. That's that real man.
That's that real. That's why I said I gotta play this just for the sounds alone. Go ahead. Hearing all them chains and all that stuff. Go ahead, play it.
I'm good.
You all right?
Yeah. Where you at?
Just coming from the grocery store.
Shit, I ain't gonna get no food in here. Grocery store.
Yeah,
Hold on. Grocery store.
Right.
What you? He ain't never gonna see no groceries no more. According to that.
Right. That old bowl of cereal he thinking about.
That's gone. Now you got to deal with what they got in there.
Old chips.
I'm gonna lean
dip.
back.
He ain't getting none of that.
Right.
Damn.
Mama got it all at the grocery store. He ain't getting none of that.
Yep, none of that.
Look at him licking his
at
lip.
Yeah.
So that
You ain't getting none of that, bro. Damn, Mama.
I'm thinking about it too.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, I got this daggone stuff on my. I can't do nothing.
Can't do nothing.
I'm chained up. Hit it.
Oh, McCom, of course, I'm going to always be there for you.
I know.
You said what?
I said I know.
Mama said I'm gonna always be there for
Well,
you.
act like you know then. I still love you.
I love you too.
Oh, okay. So just all on in there and lay down and don't be causing no problems.
Man, hold it. Pause it. Hey, this is sad for me. I remember there was a guy that was locked up in the psych unit, and it's amazing. The psych units look just like this.
Yeah.
They're built just like this. The ones that I worked in look just like this. Wow. And there's a phone on the wall, just like they do in the prison. A phone on the wall that they give them phone time, and people fighting over the damn phone and all of that. This one dude never got a phone call. Mama dropped his ass off, and he was hoping that the phone would ring for him, and Mama never called him.
Right. Looking for a letter.
Looking
no
for
letter.
a letter,
Right.
nothing. Right. And they get visitations and all that. Nobody ever came to visit him. Go ahead, man.
All right.
Okay, love you.
Love you too.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes?
We have visitation every day from 1:30 to 4 and from 7 to 9:30.
Okay, I'll be there.
Okay, we only allow siblings that are 18 and older with photo ID and birth certificate to visit, parents and grandparents.
Okay.
And you need your photo ID.
Okay.
And there is a dress code, so if you'd like to call back and ask.
Right, yeah, no, he's been through this before, and we,
Okay.
you know.
I just want to remind the parents so they don't get denied visitation. I just like to give them a heads up on the dress code. So as long as you're aware of it.
Okay.
And then we'll see you on Monday morning, okay?
Okay, yeah, I can come visit tomorrow?
Yeah, you can come visit every day.
Okay, yeah, I'll be up there.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is crazy. Now, before you pull it, hold it. Now, when you're in there, the child, because you notice the woman, she's speaking real nice to them. They actually get connected with that. They were like, wow, this woman is showing me some love. You dig it? I'm talking about the child, the juvenile.
Right.
Because in there, the guards don't care about you.
Nope.
They like this, all that love, that ain't in there.
Right.
And you might find one staff member that might be nice to you, and they will go out of their way to try to be around that nice one. Right. And then guess what? The administration will remove them off the floor.
Yep.
Yep. Remove them off the floor.
Snatch it away.
Snatch it away. Because it could lead to other things.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Right.
It's crazy. Go ahead.
No, you're right, Bishop. You're right.
Go ahead, play on.
Your mother really loves you.
Your mother really, see, those words, your mother really loves you, that shit is tearing his ass up.
Psychological.
Tearing his ass up.
She know what she doing.
She tearing him up
She
with
know what
that
she
shit.
doing.
You shouldn't be here kind of stuff.
Right.
He chained
Right.
up. You ain't seen that. Keep on rolling.
You need to start behaving yourself, improving yourself.
Damn.
I mean,
Look
if you're
at
punching
him.
holes in the
Searching
wall when
his-
you're
look,
angry,
while he's
you're
being
having
taught,
a problem.
he running them pockets.
You just need to talk. And Melissa's really nice. She'll listen and give you advice, and you gotta do what you gotta do, okay?
Now, pause it for a second. Those staff members are trained.
Yep.
Right.
She's
Exactly.
talking to him,
Right.
keeping him distracted while because people get fidgety and start fighting and all.
Yeah.
That. So she's keeping his attention on
Yeah.
that shit.
Right.
While he's running them pockets, checking them out, making sure they ain't got nothing on him. He just walked in. This is what they call intake. As soon as he get in, that's how they dealing with him. Go ahead, play on.
Just step back. You can just stand straight up.
Look at them damn cups. Look how he is.
Running them down.
Right.
My time.
He's on General.
That's what I want to get off. You stopped it right there. On them damn keys.
Yep.
She's clicking your life away. All your information is brrrr.
Yep.
All that's going in there.
Yep.
All that's going in there. F for life.
Clicking your life away.
Okay? Clicking your life away. That's what's going on in there.
And you sitting there in the stark silence of that room with that mechanical keyboard clicks. Officer Zaria said it.
Yeah.
The
you hear all that. And every stroke is like death to my damn life. Go ahead.
I'll watch till 3 in the morning due to marijuana.
Okay.
Okay?
Look at this. Still running.
Yep.
Ooh, good eye.
Damn. Find this shit on.
Yep.
Did you forget about this?
Look at this.
That's why we always have more than one person search. So even the officer did. I just can pat on his pockets.
So if he been now, wait a minute now, because I just heard her say something. That's not supposed to. Somebody's in trouble because of that.
Yeah. He got in with that.
Because he got in with that.
Right.
Somebody's in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
You know, that ain't supposed to happen.
Right.
But go ahead. That's what she's saying. Go ahead.
That's why we always have more than one person search. So even the officer did. I just can pat on his pockets. Okay. We need her birth certificate and photo ID.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Thanks. You don't have anything else in your underwear or any, because you're going to get searched back there. And you got to say it now before you leave in.
That's cavity searches. That's
Yep.
what he's talking about. That's cavity
Yep.
searches.
That's what's up next. You don't.
Right.
Spread them.
Yep. Right. It's coming.
All that.
Yep.
All that. Go ahead. Play on.
Take. Do you have anything else on you? Okay. He's going to search everything on you. Intake.
Okay, hi. It stated that she already has a birth certificate on file. Do you see it?
I don't see it. I'll double check her file and I'll call you back. It's not in notebooks, but I'll call you back, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye.
You see the metal detector that you walk through is over there.
Right.
Sometimes that don't pick up everything. Go ahead. All right.
Thank you. You could just set that there right now.
Here your keys, Liz.
Right, that's it. All right, all praises. Now, give me, let's see. Give me my next video. Give me my next video.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Here we go. Niggas don't listen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Next level.
Here it go. Here it go.
Think you a tough, right? Huh? If I stick my foot so far up your ass, you'll be able to taste my damn shoelaces. You pretty to me, man. You think it's a game, though, don't you? Yes, you do, because you one of them tough. I'll be all up in your ass, boy. I sell that boy for zuzus and wham-whams. You see this call?
Pause it. Pause it. Zuzus and wham-whams.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what he's saying?
No snack cakes.
He up there. No. He said, I'll sell that boy for zuzus and wham-whams.
Okay.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh, boy.
We'll pimp his ass around the block.
Right.
Yeah.
Meaning you're going to blow rods and you're going to bend over. Wham-whams is you getting bent over.
Yeah.
And zuzus is blowing rods.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell you to every inmate in here that want a trick, that want you to do them.
Damn.
That's what he's saying. Damn. Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
And that's why that scripture that you brought out earlier, Bishop, is heavy. That Proverbs it talks about, it says the treasures of wickedness profiteth nothing, because all these things that the world has for our youth today, and especially the millennials, it don't profit you anything.
No.
This is what you profit, right? This is your end result. You think that if you think that these gangs or all this other social stuff that you think having following your social parties and friends and all that, not listening to your parents, you think it's gonna benefit you? No, it's gonna lead you right here. It's gonna lead you right here, or even worse, because the Bible itself said it's not gonna profit you anything.
Nope,
it's not.
Nope.
And we seeing the men. You don't realize the women even worse.
The women is worse.
Right.
The women even
The
worse.
women are even worse.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I knew brothers that worked the women's prison system. You know,
Straight
so I know how they
crazy.
are. Go ahead, play on. Hit me.
You like a bitch. You gonna call my chest her whenever I tell you. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this old hoe ass gonna do it Thursday, Fridays. Stand your ass up too. You know what? Open it up. Call me chest. Call me chest right now. Bitch ass. Look while you're doing it. It better not hurt neither.
He said, hold it. He said, I want you to look while you're doing it. Don't be looking away. Look at me while you're doing it. and it better not hurt.
No.
And it better not hurt.
Boy,
He said, do it slow.
Do it slow.
you better not pull one of them tacos.
We're laughing.
Yeah.
That's that's what's in there.
Taco
what's in
meat,
there.
That's what's in
Yeah,
there.
you better not pull that too
That's
hard.
what's in there.
That's what's
Better
in the
stroke
way.
Yeah, it better not snag either.
Golly.
Boy, that's rough, dude. look old boy eyes.
Oh my God.
Look at his eyes. Man,
No.
Yeah, that's what you don't got yourself into.
Because you ain't want to listen to mama.
Right.
That's why they get in there.
Right.
Mom, I still love you, baby.
Right.
You be crying for mama.
Mama can't help you
Mama
now.
can't help you
Ah,
then.
you done, brother.
You on the damn phone. Tell your mama to put some money on my commissary, nickel.
Good gracious. Oh, boy.
Go ahead, man. Play on.
You sorry for grab the comb, man.
He passing the comb to him.
You better grab that comb, dog. How to beat your ass. Man, let me go, man. Man, let me go, man. How to beat your ass. Coming back for your ass. You think you were tough?
Shoot.
Man.
I'll tell you, boy.
Don't do it.
Yeah, grab that comb.
Grab that comb, nigga.
Yeah.
Grab that comb. Take it from him, man. It's your turn, nigga. Grab that comb.
Yeah.
People don't understand. It's a TV show, but those people, they in there, they not gonna see no woman again. You come in there, you the closest looking thing.
Yeah.
They will do that for real,
It's going
and the
down.
police will not stop
They're
them.
not stopping it.
Right.
They're not
Yeah.
stopping it. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. up there.
Lights out. They ain't seen nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, crime. There's an example as well. Some of many or perhaps all the audience might hear about the basketball NFL player, the young man, that good prospect for the skills he has. What's his name? Ja Morant. That's his name.
What
He will not. Every time he gets on the social media, He has a contract for 10, if not $100 million.
Okay.
And will not stop brandishing weapons and smoking and doing hood rat stuff. And people keep warning him.
I think I heard about something like that. Guy made like a damn near $200 million contract, some madness like that.
Yes.
Wow.
And every time he get on
a thug nigga.
But what's so bad about it?
Nigga escaped the hood, and he trying to go back in the hood.
He was never in the hood. He actually was brought up in like a middle class family, bitch.
Yeah.
Father and mother and everything.
Just like that. CO said.
Right.
You know, she said you got the haircut, got good shoes.
Right.
What the hell are you doing here?
You actually got the tools to be successful.
Damn.
Them rappers that have the image that you're trying to portray on the YouTube or all the social medias are not going to bail you out and give you back your hundreds of millions that you missed out on because you wouldn't stop having illegal weapons and smoking and doing these things.
No, you ain't getting that.
And that goes back to your point too, Bishop, where you know, even because right now what we was looking at as far as the juvenile, majority of that is going off a single parent household.
Yeah,
but today,
but like I said, the cycle continues.
Right,
That's what I was talking about with the woman.
Right. Even with you having a father and a mother in a household, if they're not doing their part, they're not being vigilant.
Exactly.
That child can still go left. It still can be.
But even in the cases where because like I said, the calls that brothers and sisters. Even when they are doing everything that they can and the child is still being rebellious because they're threatening, I'm calling 911. They go that far.
Right.
You can't stop me. I'm going to call 911. I'm going to do this and that and the other. So the parents feel hamstrung. They feel like they can't do anything. Then they have to just let them go. When they let them go, then they end up here. Mama. No. Big Bubba looking at you. You finished crying. You finished crying. You comb these heads.
Gonna hang up the phone that you done talking now.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. You know. Give me Matthew. Okay. No, read that. Read Deuteronomy. What was that? 21 again?
Yes, sir.
And the 21st verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 21.
Then we're going to Matthew.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 21.
Yes, sir.
And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones.
Some people say, well, they don't get to do that today. There ain't nobody doing that, but look, this what you end up getting this shit.
Right.
It's just probably worse.
Just showed you examples of
You're
stone.
getting it. The law of God is spiritual. You're going to get that judgment. Read.
That he die.
And you're going to die. And you're going to die in the system. Go ahead.
So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
So shall thou put evil away from among you. I ain't done with the death yet. So that was it, right? Go ahead.
And all Israel shall hear and fear.
And that's the purpose. So they didn't hear and fear because our people don't want to keep the laws when it was dealing with mother and father, honoring them. But now, when they do it like this here, people going to fear this. Mm-hmm. When they see this and understand that this is a reality, a lot of people are going to change. They're going to change. Scared straight. They're going to get their mind right because this is exactly where you're going. So you're going to get it now. Okay? Now, give me Matthew. Matthew 15.
Matthew chapter 15.
Because the scriptures say that he be put to death. He said that the people shall stone him with stones that he die. And that's how you're going to put away evil from Israel. So let's see what Christ said now.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 4. For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother.
That's the whole point right there. Honor thy father and thy mother. So the powers that be is a result of us not honoring our fathers and our mothers. And notice I put the father first. Because he's the one that set the order in the home.
Right.
The same way that he is to be over the female when she goes and marry, the father set all that up. A lot of honor is supposed to go to that father. Right. You don't want to deal right with that, judgment is waiting on you.
That's right.
Go ahead, read.
He that curseth father or mother.
He that curseth father or dishonoreth father and mother.
Let him die the death.
Let him die the death. It didn't say any kind of death, the death. Meaning that the death is going to be equivalent to what we just read in Deuteronomy. So the death that they get now is what we're talking about now. Give me my next video. Let him die the death. Here it comes now. Give me the next video. Watch this. Hit me.
Hello, this is a free call from
Donald Gray.
An incarcerated individual at Oklahoma State Penitentiary. You may start the conversation now.
I always struggled all my life. I had to do what I had to do to live because I don't have no damn food. I ate off the street. I might watch you eat fried chicken or whatever, and you throw away your straps. I would walk up, play it off, have my shoe bend down, take the chicken bones, the box, and put it in my pocket and eat that shit. Life is kill or be killed.
You know, it's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life.
He remember the song. I remember that song. Pause it for a second. Pause it for a second. Oklahoma State Penitentiary. Say he's in a situation where his life means nothing. He's got the death sentence. He's on death row. He's getting ready to be executed. And he gets to make his last phone call. That's what that was. That was the last phone call. That's what's happening there. This is the real stuff. Let him die the death. All of this because he didn't listen to Mama. Well, hopefully Mama was in her right mind because these things are repeated. Right. Who knows if his parents didn't come from the result of parents before him that weren't trying to do it. All of this is a result of us breaking the laws of God. Right. And we didn't repent. Right. So it brings to this here. But for those that are in this truth, we have no excuse. We're trying to get all of our people to repent so that they don't have to go down this line. So that's also the message. But you're looking at situations where they don't really have this kind of upbringing. Brothers and sisters that's in the body, you're supposed to know better. And if you know better, do better. Start today. Do better. That's the message. Right. Hit me. So here it is. Here's a reality of an inmate. Before you move the film. Just listen to me, brothers. Show that what I'm looking at on the screen so they can see what it is. We followed an inmate to the execution chamber, Oklahoma State Penitentiary. So that's what that phone call was about. Play it. Hit the button.
Dear Mr. Robinson, it is with empathy that I must inform
That's his brother.
you.
That's his brother. He got the phone call that went to his brother. His mama probably dead. Worried her half to death. She probably dead. So the only one that could respond is his brother. Go ahead.
That inmate Donald Grant is scheduled to die by lethal injection at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary on January 27, 2022 at 10 a.m.
They ain't going to be late either. Pause it. When that time and date come up, they're not getting you at 10:01. So that means you sweating and panting every second as you go. Just think about that. As you walking down that hall the last time, they give you your meal and all that. You're walking into, and you get ready, that's your final resting place. That's some stuff, ain't it? Play on. Play till I tell you all to stop.
Inmate Grant has requested you as a witness to the execution.
So his brother got to literally sit there and watch his brother die.
My name is Joe Robinson, and I'm the eldest sibling of Donald Grant. The day of, on the 27th, me and my siblings had to be transported in a vehicle driven by department staff that was a van with no windows on either side. Visitors are made to feel like they are like they've committed some crime. And we were driven to H Unit. Really, it's like a concrete tomb. Just cold and barrel and lifeless. We were taken to a room. There was coffee, there was snacks, and I'm like, just laid out, as if it was almost like a banquet or something like that. I don't have an appetite. My brother's about to be executed, and I'm gonna drink your water, eat your cookies or snacks or whatever, as if it was any other day. That was what bothered me, though. This was not any other day. This was the day that my brother was gonna take his last breath at the hands of Oklahoma State. So it was not any other day.
In less than an hour, Donald Grant set to become Oklahoma's 195th death row inmate to be executed.
What's the time, brothers? Was that the time? Okay, go ahead.
Mercy on your son, Donald Grant, who's about to return to you.
I really do think that my brother's crime, which was a double homicide of two young hotel clerks, I'll say, is a heinous crime.
He killed, hold it. Did you hear what he did? 2 hotel clerks. He killed 2 hotel clerks. That's the reason why he got this penalty. How did he even get into a life of crime to do something like that? with no guidance, because if he had loving parents, believing parents that was trying to instruct him, he wouldn't end up in this. If sinners entice thee, consent thou not. He would never got caught up into that. But if you want to run away from the discipline of your father and the discipline of your mother, this is where you're going to end up at, because God going to make sure it happens to you, because that's a judgment from God.
Yeah, because he said in his little letter at the beginning, he said he has to live by what, kill or be killed.
Yeah.
You don't learn that from your parents.
No.
You learn on the streets.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Friend had gotten arrested for something, and Donald came up with this plan to rob one of these hotels to get bail money to get her out.
According to court documents, Grant
So
shot.
wait a minute now. Hold it. I missed that. He had a girlfriend that got in trouble. Did I hear that right? Back that up just a little bit. I didn't pay attention to this when I first reviewed it. Listen to why he got in trouble. Hit it.
Up with this plan to
He came up with this plan.
rob one of
He came up with this plan. This is how he got to this point where he's executed. Back it up just a little bit. I want to hear this story. I'm sorry, brothers. Hit me.
then, I guess, girlfriend
Yes.
had gotten arrested for something.
His girlfriend got arrested for something when she got locked up. His girlfriend. What the hell is his girlfriend getting arrested for? Because she belonged to the streets. Right. He got tied up with some girl that who didn't listen to their parents. That's why I say it goes both ways.
Right.
Here the brother, we sat with a situation like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother's nose wide open. Didn't want to hear nothing.
Right.
Same kind of woman. Same kind of deal.
Right.
Much older than him.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna put much older than him. And she get caught up in something like that. He's so wide open, he'd go and do something like this here to get her off for bail and end up killing somebody in the process. Wow. Now they got these things in some states called felony murder, which means you get all of the murders that happen, you get charged with them, whether you did it or not. Go ahead, hit me.
And Donald came up with this plan to rob one of these hotels to get bail money to get her out.
According to court documents, Grant shot hotel manager Brenda McLeay in a storage room before stabbing her in the neck with a box knife. He then ordered Suzette Smith to empty the cash register, which she did, before shooting her in the face 3 times.
I know pain, so I know they pain, and for them to have to relive it, my actions for what I done back then, I can't change that. If I could, I would, but I can't change that.
Pause it. Clemency hearing. Basically begging. That's him. That's the guy that did it. That's the one that's on death row.
3 times.
Stabbed her in the face.
Now, in other words, if he said it went down that way, but if I could have did things different, I would have. The things that you could do different, for those of you that's on the verge of going into this damn life, straighten your damn ass up and get your mind right. Repent. Because this is where you will end up at. Ain't going to be no turning around. This dude got killed. He got executed. Done. That was it on that, right? Did we play it? That was it? Yes, sir. Okay, now give me my pictures. Give me my pictures. Let me show you some of these pictures of what it's going to look like. Let's just go through them. Let's see what I got. Hold on. Okay. Now, yeah. Read that, Larkin. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
This is a crime scene photo. Now, I'm just showing you in case you're successful and you don't deal with the jail. You ain't got arrested by the cops yet. The powers that be didn't get you yet, but you're involved in stuff like this here. Yep. Read it.
A crime scene photo shows the bullet-riddled windshield of suspect Warren Jose's Chevrolet Trailblazer. Police investigators said that Jose fired an assault rifle through the windshield from the front passenger seat. Crime scene photo. Phoenix Police Department.
Now let's open it. Let's look. Look how the car got all shot up. Huh?
Try to blow it up.
Zoom in, brothers. Come on now. Look at the damage to that vehicle. You don't want to be in no situation like that. But that's judgment. Mm-hmm. That's judgment. That's judgment. Shots fired all over the place. Why? Because he's involved in activity like this here.
Right.
Give me my next one. Read the caption.
A crime scene photo shows the blood-soaked driver's seat of Warren Jose's bullet-riddled Chevrolet Trailblazer, which was driven by Theresa Medina Thomas, who was shot to death by agents with Homeland Security investigations.
Who was shot to death by agents. Okay? That's bearing the sword in vain. They ain't bearing the sword in vain. They're coming after you.
Right. That's what it says. They that resist shall receive to themselves
there you go.
damnation.
Okay? So these are some of the death pitfalls that's going to happen because of us disobeying that basic law of honoring thy father and thy mother. This is where we end up at for the majority of us. Okay, go to my other pictures. Come on, So if it ain't that, zoom in on that. Let's see what that is. Lethal injection table. That's how the brother died. Strapped down on that, and they put that needle in your arm and turn on those things and seep that poison into you till your heart stops.
Hey, you read the little. It says lethal injections cause suffocation and severe pain.
Right.
So it ain't just like a lot of people think like it's just
going to
it's just
sleep.
going in and people just go to sleep. No, them brothers just suffering.
Yeah.
They suffering.
Ain't that the same?
That's an advocacy group that's trying to say, they.
I got you.
They're just trying to say that this is cannibalistic and all.
Yeah.
That.
Isn't that the same? But those aren't the same people that advocate for that same chemical to be injected into the womb of the baby in the Planned Parenthood. They don't care about when they use that chemical there.
Check that out.
They can use it.
That's right. They suffocate the baby in you black women's wombs. Right. That's what he's saying. Right. But now all of a sudden they got advocacy groups against this here, but that still ain't stopping the death. Right. Okay. Move around in that photo.
Scroll up. Yeah.
Look at that. More images of where your son's gonna end up, and perhaps your daughters too. They end up a statistic like this here. Give me the next picture. That's the gas chamber. Imagine walking into that damn thing. You walk in there and you ain't walking out. Next picture. Zoom in on that. Let the people see that.
Ain't that what they so-called Hitler used on the Amalekites?
He ain't use a damn thing. He ain't did nothing. Don't even mention them bastards. It's Zechariah 9:6 in case somebody get any ideas.
It's biblical. It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. Right. But look at that damn thing there. The chairs don't even recline.
But you just think about when you hear that door just close.
And they turn it there to seal it up.
All right.
And then they turn them red knobs on it and release the gas on you. Give me the next picture. I mean, move it around. I think I showed more than that. Look at that. Look at that. There's the seats inside. Arizona. This is what they're getting rid of. This is what they're doing. This is where a lot of our sons are going to end up at.
What they call it, walking the mile, huh?
Yeah. Right. Yes. That's what they was just telling me, like in Mississippi, Jackson, they passing laws where now they're trying to send more black people to jail.
They also aren't they trying to pass a law that they can hang people now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All that. Yep. All that stuff. All that's coming. Okay. Because we don't want to do right by what the scriptures say. Is there more in there? Move it around. Is there some more in that picture? Move up. Okay, give me the next picture. I just want y'all to get some images. That's what it looked like when it's closed. Zoom in on that. You in there? Look how dreary that place look. You come in there alive. You come out. They got to carry you out. You done.
Right. Ain't no painted flower walls.
None of that. None of that at all.
And none of that.
It's an industrial hard metal room with nothing on the wall. Just look like hell itself.
And just in case people out there don't understand why we showing these pictures, I just want to go back to Deuteronomy. I mean, you don't got to read it.
Yes, sir.
But the main point, because it said in the book of Deuteronomy, it says, so shalt thou put evil away from among you. We're doing this so you can see this is the end result. This is the reason why, like Bishop says, the reason why the Bible says, honor thy father and thy mother. Because they're going to try to make sure that this don't happen to you.
Right.
Everybody else is not going to worry about you when you go to jail or you get this death penalty.
Nope.
Your parents are going to be the ones that's in that room witnessing, seeing you.
Same ones you dishonor.
Right. Same ones you dishonor. They're going to be the ones watching you get put to death. So that's why we bringing these things out.
Go back to that Proverbs 10 again. That's what you just said. Proverbs 10:1.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 1.
This is what you were just saying, officer.
Yes,
the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son maketh a glad father.
Go ahead.
But a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother.
A foolish son ends up in this damn thing here. Up shot, dead, woman pregnant with all kind of kids, all that. You bring heaviness to your parents. Right. They got to be a witness this because you didn't want to listen. The Most High brings that judgment because you didn't want to listen. Right. Damn. Was that it on that?
That's verse 1, yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know what's verse 2.
Verse 2. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing.
Treasures of wickedness profit you the gas chamber. Promise you the bullets. Right. Promise you the stun gun, the 9mm, the Glocks, the police dogs.
Right.
You getting shot up.
Lethal injection.
What up? Boom, bang. You get all that. That's what ended up happening.
But righteousness delivereth from death.
But when you're righteous, it delivers. This is for the ones of you that have been in evil, and now it's time for you to repent. It will deliver you from your trajectory of dying.
Right.
You better repent fast. Okay, that's the point there. Show me, but there's more pictures, right? Move that around. Was that it on that? Okay, right. Damn, look at that. I think we showed that earlier, right? Is there any more pictures on that? Okay, that was it. All right, now let's get back to the scriptures. Almost done. We're gonna roll to about 8:30. This is our channel, so we're gonna roll a little bit. I got to get these points, and I'm not doing no part 2. I gotta bring all this information out. So read that thing. What Christ said again in Matthew. Matthew 15 verse 4.
Matthew chapter 15 verse 4.
That's what we're reading is what we just witnessed. Come on.
For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
Let him die. Let him get the judgment of the Most High. Let him die the death. Let her die the death. Let her get afflicted. Let her catch this. Let her get all kinds of hell problems, and they be crying for mama and looking at mama to take them back in after they done destroyed their lives. Right. And that happens. Grandma got to come and deal with all this foolishness all over again. Why? Because they didn't want to do it. And this is a terrible thing because we talking about here in the body.
Right.
We don't need no madness like that up in here.
And Bishop, just to your point you mentioned at the beginning, like you said, with us trying to groom our children under these commandments, they rebel and go to the other family members. Right. What happens now? They get kicked out of school, exactly. or they go to juvenile, wherever the case may be. And who's in there have to deal with it? Mom. Who's got to sign off all those papers? That's it. Not them in-laws that took you in, not them friends that took you in. No, they're your parents.
That's it.
The ones that was trying to groom you the right way.
Right. Now I'm getting ready to tell a story. And we're getting ready to go to Corinthians now. Now I'm getting ready to make my connection. So that's why I said I was going to finish this. I'm going to get this all out. Pickens Avenue in Brownsville. I think it's Brownsville or Queens, Brooklyn. You had a situation. I ain't going to mention who, but this is one of those situations where you had in-laws or in-laws. And the brother got daughters, got sons. And the relatives came over to say, hey, man, let your daughter go to the store down the block and get me such and such. And he's familiar with the area. He said, my daughter ain't going no damn where down there with all them drug dealers and all that kind of stuff going on there. So he said, no, that ain't happening. The guy, the father-in-law, responds and says, man, you take that Bible too damn serious. Let that child go and be in such and such. He had to basically say, listen, man, if you ever want to see your grandchildren again, don't ever let me hear you talk like that again. He basically had to put him, let him have it. Boom. Shut that down. Shut it down. Because I have to step in because you putting that thought in my daughter's head, making her think that I'm being too hard, it's going to cause a rift between us. Right. And then when her life is all messed up, they're the one that got to deal with it.
Exactly.
So either you get your business in order right now or you forever not seeing nothing. Mm-hmm. And he had to put that, if you ever want to see them again, this is how it's going to go down. That's right. And that's how it's got to be. Now let's get the scriptures. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Again, I'm about to expand this now because I have to do this. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 13. This is about the in-laws. I'm gonna stretch it out about in-laws taking in your rebellious child. Like we was talking about earlier. They said, Mom is too damn strict. Can I come stay with you so I can have some liberty to do this and do that? Okay, read that. Now, what we're about to read, we're actually reading about a husband and wife where one is a believer and one is not the believer. That's what this chapter is really going into. I want to use the understanding of this to expand it into the subject of your children going out of your domain. Watch this now. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 13. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her.
Here in the case, you have a wife that's a believer and the husband is not a believer. Okay? Although the husband is not a believer, it says what?
And if he be pleased to dwell with her.
If he be pleased to dwell, this is the example that I was given earlier. If he be pleased to dwell, he might not understand the commandments in terms of the way she understands them. You understand? But because he wants to keep the marriage, he wants to keep the relationship together, he's going to follow them anyway. Okay? Why am I correlating this with the in-laws? Because the in-laws might not understand, as they will call it, that Israelite stuff, that Bible stuff. Right. But if I want to see my children, if I want to see my children and my grandchildren, I'm going to abide by what they say. It's the same connection. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's the same connection. Read it again.
And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her.
I don't understand what y'all mean by that, keeping the Sabbath and no cooking on the Sabbath and pants. You know, men wear the pants and the fringes, and the women with the border blue and the skirts and all that. Right. I don't understand all of that, but I'm still going to do it because I want to be with you. Go ahead.
Let her not leave him.
Let her not leave him. The same thing with the in-laws. If the in-laws are going to abide, I'm breaking it down both ways. If the in-laws are going to listen, even though they don't understand it, you can still come over. You ain't going to be there for long. You'll be there for a couple of hours. You know, I'll show you a couple of scriptures or whatever. Then it's time for you to get your coat and go back home. You understand? But at least you ain't bringing no foolishness up in my house. Go ahead, read.
For the unbelieving husband.
For the unbelieving husband, just like the unbelieving spouse, in-laws, go ahead,
is sanctified by the wife.
If the in-laws are coming over and they're obeying the commandments, at that moment they're clean. Even though they don't understand, just like the unbelieving husband don't understand. Right. But they're following it. That's what this is saying. Go ahead.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
So if it's on the other way, it's the same thing. If you got the husband that believe and the wife that don't believe, but if she's pleased to dwell to follow the commandments, go ahead, read.
Else were your children unclean.
So if she's going to follow because her husband is following and they have children, the children are going to be clean because no matter which way they go to the believing father. He understands what Passover is about. He understands what the Feast of Unleavened Bread is about. He understands these things. The wife perhaps don't, but because she's keeping it to the best of her ability, when the child goes to either one of them, the child is going to get the same answer. Right. So that's what's going to make them holy. Right. Same thing with the in-laws. The in-laws are coming over. They might not understand the seriousness in the laws that we're taking, but when my child goes to the in-laws and they say they want to eat pork or they want to do, I'm just being simple, want to deal with this and deal with that, the in-laws are going to be like, even though we don't understand what it's about, but I want to keep the relationship with my son who's got his wife and his children and all that, because I'm your grandfather. I'm going to abide by him. So either way, we're going to tell you to stick with what your parents taught you. Go ahead, read. Else were your what?
Else were your children unclean.
When you don't have that, when you don't have the two parents in the house that believe in the same thing, your children will be unclean. Same thing goes if both of the parents are believers and they allow the child to go out and be with people that are not believers, your child is going to be unclean again. It's going to be unclean again. Go ahead.
But now are they holy?
But now are they holy because everywhere they go, they're going to be met with the law. Right. Whether they fully understand the law or not, they're going to be clean because everywhere they turn, that mama is not going to be used against daddy. The in-laws are not going to be used against my parents. Right. Right. That's how that goes. Okay. Right. Now, give me Peter. Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3. Going a little further.
1 Peter chapter 3.
We're going back to Corinthians.
Yes, sir. 1 Peter chapter 3.
Verse 1.
Verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
So in the case where the wife is because history, you had some of the women that was repenting, but they still had husbands that was still connected to the Greek fashion. That's the historical point to this. Read that again.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection. So she still had a respect to her husband, even though her husband wasn't a believer. He's noticing this. I'm not a believer, but my wife is learning that Bible, and she's still dealing with me with respect. Read that again.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
Go ahead.
That if any obey not the word,
if any of the husbands obey not the Bible, they're not believers. Go ahead.
They also may without the word.
These husbands may also, without knowing the Bible like she does, go ahead,
be won by the conversation of the wives.
The husbands could be won by the seriousness of the wife. The same thing that can happen with the in-laws. They could be won by the conversation that they don't see that we ain't dealing with no Christmas, no Easter, nothing that. And if they really love to be around us, they're going to conform to what we say. Right. And then we can win them over by our by the conversation that they hear us say to our children and all of that. Go ahead.
Read while they behold your chaste conversation.
While they, the husbands, and while your in-laws, I'm stretching it out, while your in-laws behold the chaste, disciplined conversation. So if these in-laws are holding a disciplined, if these in-laws are beholding and seeing a disciplined conversation that's happening with the children, the in-laws ain't supposed to disrupt that. They're gonna, you know what, we're gonna stick with this. Lily, you want to say something?
No, sir. That point is crystal clear.
Yes,
it's
sir.
Because even if the husband doesn't believe, the children, they don't know that.
Exactly.
So all they see is commandments either way they look.
Exactly. That's the point. That's what makes them clean. That's the point there. And the same thing has to be extended to the in-laws. That's where I was going with this whole lesson. Right. That's the point. So don't allow your children to go stay with unbelievers. Right. None of you. None of you. You men, you women, nobody. Your children talking about something they don't want to do right. No. Do not stand with anybody unless they are going to be a part of this here. If you're going to stay your behind here, that's what you're going to do. Right. When they come to see you, they're going to abide by the way we're bringing them up. Right. Because we have an investment. We're trying to bring you up right. Read.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear.
So the unbelieving spouse will behold the serious chastened, disciplined conversation. The unbeliever is seeing how serious you are about this Bible.
Right.
I known that to happen with one of the deacons. When we started out, his wife wasn't a believer, and she walked out. She left. And then she got she said, well, where's this guy going around at night? Where's his husband? Because he was studying. And she thought he was fooling around. When she come to realize that he was really about this Bible, she told me. She said to me, I thought he was out here running around with some other woman or whatever. She said, I did not know that he was that serious in this Bible. And she said, because I love him so much, I'm going to learn what he learned. I'm going to get down with it. That's why she's with him to this day. You dig it? But because she saw how serious he was. That's that chaste conversation. He saw that. She saw that. She saw that. Read that statement again.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear.
She saw that. The in-laws see not only is it a serious conversation, but they saw that these parents fear the Lord.
Right.
And they said, well, damn, if they fear the Lord that much, then maybe, and if I value that relationship so I can be able to see my grandkids, I've got to value what he's teaching. I got to value that because I want to be a part of it. That's how they can become believers, just by simply watching. And that's how they can possibly be won over. Okay, so that's the point. That's the point. Go back to Corinthians.
Corinthians.
I'm almost done.
Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 7.
15.
Verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart.
So now in the case where you have in-laws that don't want to listen. Because in the case of this here, you might have a wife that don't believe. And she said, I'm not dealing with it. I'm out. Because the whole point is you don't want the child to be confused. You still pumping them commandments. This got to go down. Well, I ain't blah, 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 blah. I'm leaving. I'm taking the house, suing, the lawyers and all of that. You go through all of that. You understand? But you still standing on your own. You still, listen, these commandments going to go down. And a lot of brothers have faced this kind of stuff. Wives have completely left them. Right. Then came back and took the house, took everything. And a lot of brothers have gone through this kind of tribulation. Right. I prayed for them brothers. Right. Because it's a lot to go through. But these men stood on their own to make sure that they stayed in the commandments. And lost their children. We've had those kinds of situations. Children went to stay with a wicked-ass mama. And they worried. They said, well, my son, I love my son. I want, but now he's staying with these parents, with my ex-wife that's taking them into Christmas and this and that and the other. So, because I had this question posed to me a couple of days ago. She said, well, what do you do in a case like that? I said, well, being that you still get visitation, still try to bring the commandments. Every chance you get, you give them the commandments. Even though they stand with wicked mama, they stand with wicked daddy. When they visit you, you give them the commandments. Even though they got to go back to Christmas and all that bullshit, you still give them as much as you can. Show them how much you love them, how much that you support them, and all that. You know, you're trying to really build them up because you're not there as much. When that child gets of age, they're going to remember daddy was there. Even though mommy went and dealt with this nigga that we dealing with or whatever. You understand? Because, you know, she got some other dude that she laying down with or whatever. But the child is still connected to the father, and the father is showing, listen, I love my daughter. I love my son. I'm going to be there. And every chance that I get, I'm going to teach my daughter these commandments. And the brothers be worried. Am I going to lose my daughter to this mess? Am I going to lose my son? This is my heritage. This is my seed. That's how some men really feel. And the only thing we can really tell them is say, listen, the law is the law. The law says that, you know, she got custody or whatever. But the law also gives you the right to visit your son. And when every time you visit your son, you give him these commandments.
Right.
And that child, when it grows of age, we pray that the Lord put the spirit on them to be like, you know what? My father dealt with me right all these years. Didn't have to. Mama done got somebody else's such and such, but my daddy still tried to stay with and give me the righteousness. I'm going to check daddy out.
Right.
Yeah.
And Most High will bring that child right back to you. So that's a blessing. That's for you brothers and sisters that's in that situation. That's worried. I had that 2 days ago. Sister asked me that, so I wanted to make sure that I answered her in the class, and I'm answering it again.
All praise.
So all praise to the Lord. But that's the point. Where we at in the reading?
Verse 15, 1 Corinthians chapter 7. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart.
Let him. If the person said they're gonna leave, I ain't keeping them commandments. I'm walking out. They leaving. A couple of us been through this. Left. And I said, okay, well, we're gonna keep these commandments anyway. You understand?
Right.
Yes, sir.
And then they say, well, you know what? These niggas, these people are serious as hell.
Right.
And they either get their mind right and they come back. You dig it?
Yes,
so
sir.
that be the case in a situation like this here. Read it again.
But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart.
If the unbelieving depart, let them go. If your in-laws that don't want to follow what you said, they don't want to deal right by how you bring your children up. Listen, just like I said about Pickens Avenue, goodbye.
Right.
You will not see them again. They're not going over to you because if they go over to you, we're done. That's how you got to be, because it's that serious how you bringing this child up. Right. You're trying to keep them from getting caught up in all this mess that we were showing on the screen. Go ahead, read.
A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases.
Just like you're not in the bondage to stay with a wicked woman, because first of all, the bondage is a marriage in the world. You're the marriage. Some of these people come and marry them when they come into this truth. That's when they divorce and take everything. You're not under bondage to stay in that kind of situation there. Right. That's what this is saying. Neither are we in bondage to stay with these in-laws that's going to be in the wickedness and taking my children and giving them liberty to commit sin.
Right.
I ain't in bondage to that either. Go ahead.
But God hath called us to peace.
But God has called us to peace. What verse is that?
That was the end of verse 15.
Okay. Read.
For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt...
God has called us to peace. He didn't mean for us to be living in no life of confusion and all that crazy. The Most High wants peace, and these are the conditions that bring peace. When you stand up and establish these laws and stand on them. Read.
For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband?
What knowest thou, wife, if thou shalt save thy unbelieving husband? Why? Because he's following the commandments, and he may begin to grow in these commandments, and these commandments begin to work on him and cause him to be a believer. Now he can actually win his and repent for his sins and become saved. Whether thou can save thy wife or works vice versa, whether it be the husband to the wife, wife to the husband. The same scenario happens. Why? Because they were keeping the commandments. Well, guess what? That same thing can happen with these in-laws. Right. If you stand up and put your foot down on that. It can happen with these in-laws. Read.
Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife?
Whether thou shalt save thy wife. So that's the point. So in parenting in these days, we got to be strong, like they said, to make sure that who's ever coming into the realm of our upbringing of our children, they got to conform to this. Other than that, we cut them off. Just like you would cut off a spouse that don't want to deal right, the same thing goes with the in-laws. Why? Because I need my child to grow up clean. Because this is my heritage. This is my offspring. This is what's got to carry on behind me. And I didn't lay down for nothing. You dig it?
Yes, sir.
We lay down to produce you. I need you to come out right.
That's right.
And I don't need nobody effing it up. So that's the point there. So again, I'm just going to make this point. I think that's it, right? So I just want to make this point with So the point here is not to allow anyone to come into your inner circle that is against the commandments.
That's right.
Okay, that is against the commandments, and have no fellowship with anyone that does not respect your domain in keeping the commandments of God. Hopefully, your relatives and in-laws can be won over by your conversation, your chaste conversation, and your diligence to these commandments. Other than that, let them depart, because the matter is that serious. Okay? All praise to the Most High. Brothers and sisters, we say shalom to you. And let's play this here, and we're going to close out after this here, right? So hit that. I did want to put this video in here. This is what IUIC is about, brothers and sisters.
What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word, His word, His word, His word.
All praise to the Most High. Shout out to Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Kanai, the deacons, the captains, and all of the brothers and sisters that's enduring in this truth. We say shalom to you. Happy Sabbath. Most High in Christ bless you, and Bishop Yahusap. And we got to give you these announcements real quick. And I know Deacon Lava's class is already in progress, so you can catch that after those of you that are following, you can catch that. But let's end it.
Don't neglect to give alms. For those who would like to give alms, fill out an envelope and place it in the alms box. To give alms online, donate to IUIC Concord via PayPal at iuic.concord.nc@israelunite.org. Donate to the Booster Club via PayPal at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org.
All praise to the Most High. We got more?
The Bible Book of Our Fathers. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Bible Book of Our Fathers.
All praise to the Most High. Also, letting everybody know we're going to be doing some reconstruction to our studio a little bit. So we're talking about we're gonna make it a little nicer.
Okay.
So we're going to be working on some things. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to teach every week. Hopefully we'll have the new setup. We want to do something with this table and the backdrop and stuff like that. So we're gonna be working as we're doing this. We're gonna liven things up a little bit in terms of our aesthetics and professionalism and all that good stuff. All right. Most High in Christ bless you. Happy Sabbath, Israel. Glad to be back, and I love you. I love my people. I love my nation, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back to facing and dealing with you and bringing you this gospel. All praise to the Most High. We say shalom, happy Sabbath.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom,
Happy Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Bless.